This is a Howard TV original production. On this episode, Benjy's sprain becomes a pain.
Take your shoe off. Let me kiss.
Should I get totally naked or?
No. Not right now. Not yet.
All right.
Howard opens the door to his private office.
I want an exclusive inside my office. I want to show you where the action really happens.
Sparks fly after the Enzy Awards.
Fuck you, Jared. Come on.
What's your problem? Testing 1, 2.
Baba Boo.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I've been obsessed with this whole wiener thing from the start. I was home, it was around 4 o'clock or so, and also on the internet it pops up that he's going to be doing that Anthony's doing a press conference. I run down there and I walk in and I see an empty seat right in the middle and I grab that seat. I just had a couple of questions in my head and I started jumping up and asking those questions.
Are you shocked that Arnold had sex with such an ugly woman?
You didn't just say that.
Will you help to support Arnold's love child?
And then I turn around, I think it was after that, I turn around, I give a big wave to all the cameras because I was really happy that I knew like probably everyone I knew was probably home watching this and I really wanted to wave to people.
In the great panty photo, were you fully erect? Were you fully erect or are you capable of more?
After the last question, I assumed they were kidding around, but there's some guy screaming like, let's get him, let's get him.
Who are you? Who are you? Seriously, man, who are you? Are you a full?
Huh?
Who are you?
Let's get him. My Twitter name is Bronk, B-R-O-N-K, Bronk.
Outside the Sheraton, there was like live news going on, and I got in one of the camera shots and started acting obnoxious, and some guy grabs me, and supposedly someone else hit me with a chain, and my ankle just starts killing me.
He called me at around 9:30 at night to say that he hurt his ankle really bad, and I said to him, "Listen, do whatever you have to do. You know, if you don't, if you can't come in, don't worry about it. Your health is the most important thing." I knew if I went to a hospital, I'd be there like all night. I get up here into the studio, and I know everyone thinks I'm putting on a show because it looks like just crazy.
Are you really injured?
Howard, I'm not fucking around.
Wow.
I'm just
Are you in a lot of pain?
Oh, yeah.
So go to a doctor now.
I'd really like to work today, and then it's like 5 hours, and I'd like to get if I can get an orthopedic appointment.
Well, if you get uncomfortable, go.
Thanks. Yeah.
Benjy went out yesterday during the Anthony Weiner press conference and started screaming during it.
I just read something.
Yeah, but now he's on crutches because he got himself good and injured.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That's fucked.
You probably... Yeah,
That looks broken.
For real?
Yeah, that's blood always flows down in the foot. I know a very good doctor, an orthopedic surgeon named Dr. John Gordon. So I made a call, and he said he'd be more than happy to see him right away.
So afterwards, I grab a cab. Hey, how you doing? We get to the office.
Take your shoe off. Let me kiss.
Should I get totally naked or?
No. Not right now. Not yet.
All right.
I was very impressed with the pathology of the ankle, which means his ankle was swollen, discolored, and I thought the way he was unable to walk on crutches, I thought he had either a fracture of his ankle or something seriously wrong with him.
Let's send you downstairs for some x-rays, and then we'll bring you back up here and then take another look.
Okay.
Okay? Do you want to go down? Can you walk on crutches, or do we need to put you in a wheelchair?
Whichever. I mean, I'm sure a wheelchair would be easier.
Benjy was unsafe on crutches.
Sit down, please.
Oh, are you pushing?
She's gonna push it.
She's gonna push? All right. Cool.
He has really hot girls working for him.
Where am I pushing to?
Anywhere you want. Cool.
Benjy proceeded to take 2 women from my office with him. My office manager and my college intern, which was her first hour on the job.
The first thing Benjy asked me to do to sit on his lap.
I sit down on Benjy's lap, and immediately I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, like this creepy guy, like, this is my first day on the job, like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Scoot up once.
More?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
scoot up, right on.
I don't think I had a full boner, but the other, I think she was definitely like right in there. It was hot.
X-ray.
Okay. X-ray first floor. Here we go.
The interns are very important to me. I think it's important that kids have a place to go and learn about broadcasting. There's fewer and fewer places.
So I host the intern show, and the big thing that we do on the intern show is the Inty Awards.
The Inty Awards are a series of awards that we give to staff members. There's basic categories: funniest, worst role model, just anything, both positive and negative. We pick the categories, we nominate the staff members, and then we vote on them as a group.
I was thinking last night I was coming up with some ideas for the not as funny as you think you are.
Save it and write it down and give it to me, because I'm going to have to proofread it anyways. How about worst errand?
He wanted the interns to really produce the show and to really be the main factors of the show, to be responsible for the show.
We're just soaking up information, everyone around us, all the drama, all the craziness.
I think they're so fascinated by everybody that works in his office and what it takes to put the show together. They want to hear everything and they want to be a part of everything, and the more they can suck out of it, the better they feel about it.
I'll take worst in bed. You want to take which? Let me see which ones I'm doing again.
Well, I'm not competent in writing. Which one you doing?
So... No, I just want to.
Yes.
You can. I'm not. What's your favorite backpacker?
Once we have the list of nominees for the Inties, I post them in the back office. It kind of stirs up the controversy before we've even presented anything.
I would rather be in worse dress than fucking not as funny. I think I'm pretty funny. Sorry.
Maybe you're not as funny as you think.
All right, I think you're not as funny as you think.
Shows like the Inty Awards cause controversy because the interns get to say how they really feel about people because the semester's up.
Screw the interns. They don't like me.
Once I found out who's won the Inty Awards, I have to go around with the recorder and get acceptance speeches. Congratulations, you've won Funniest Staffer.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I guess tipping all the interns finally paid off.
Most feared staffer, you have won this every time you have been nominated. It is another Inty Award for you.
Thank you. Go fuck yourself.
The second award, the worst role model. Congratulations.
It's a good thing they picked me for funniest, because now the interns could go fuck themselves.
Well, Steve, how does one accept an award where people think you don't fuck well?
Come on, this guy's got an interview to do with a winner here.
Excellent segue to the winner of the Most Inappropriate Comment Award. You did. You won Most Popular Staffer.
Yes!
You guys are like clapping.
Wow.
Howard won one of our awards. This is for the second time he's won Most Inspiring, Biggest Role Model.
The fact that some college kid would be inspired by me, I'm very happy. In fact, I wish when I was in college somebody would have been inspired by me, inspired to sleep with me.
We don't really bother Howard. When you do have to bother him to get an acceptance speech, it's a little nerve-wracking. Waiting for the right time and what kind of mood is he going to be in.
Steve's going to get a tape me right now. You won an Inty Award to go right around, Steve.
Yep. Howard, you won Most Inspiring. You beat out Fred and John Hine.
I believe I deserve it. If I had lost to John Hine for Most Inspiring, I would have been really, really pissed. I mean, John is an inspiration, don't get me wrong. He's done some great things in his life. I can't think of them right now.
We snuck it in there, we got his acceptance speech, and it was great.
Look, I'm the inspiration around here. And if I had lost, I probably would have ended the intern program and the intern show. So that's that.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much to all the interns. You've chosen wisely. Now, where's my trophy?
Jared Fox won 2 awards. He shared one with Tim, which was the Worst Errand Award.
I'm just thinking about the tasks that they have to do, and these interns are extremely entitled. If they think that running over to Howard's agent's office to drop something off, or running downstairs to pick something up for Tim, who is our senior vice president, is too difficult.
Another controversial award this year was what we refer to lovingly as the Zapin, which is the Who the F is That Guy award. This year, Kim won it. Kim is from Marketing at Sirius. I'd like to present you with the Inty Award.
I got an Inty Award?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god, this is so exciting. It depends on the category,
The category is the Who the F is That Guy Award. You can tell that Kim is not happy to receive the Who the F is That Guy Award because immediately she says,
I am so honored, Steve. The intern Brandano.
I did refer to Steve in my acceptance speech as Steve the intern Brandano. I know he doesn't like that, so it was on purpose.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Don't take this out on me. Whoa, why are you hitting me with the intern thing? You know I hate it.
I don't talk to the interns all that much, so I guess it'd be natural for them to wonder who I am.
She's there literally every day. She talks to Jason for almost an hour, and she's never introduced herself to me, or from what I've seen to any of the other interns. I've never seen an intern talking to her. I've never seen her attempt to strike up conversation or even really make eye contact with us.
The problems didn't start when she won the award. They didn't start with her acceptance speech. They started after she'd heard the intern presentation.
Who the F is she?
Exactly.
I could tell when we were doing the Inty Awards that Kim and Jared in particular were not going to be happy.
Fuck you, Jared. Come on.
Want a big giant, you want an exclusive inside my office? I want to show you where the action really happens.
I've been here for 5.5 years, and I've seen Howard's office once.
I've seen the inside of Howard's office maybe 2 times in the entire time I've been here.
I was never actually invited into Howard's office. I've walked by it, I think, once right when we got to Sirius and poked my head in.
When I'm done with the show and I say I'm working, I go in this chair, I curl up like this, and I put my feet up like this, and I pass out. But don't tell anybody. I should have put a bed in there, quite frankly. I should have put some sort of bed where I can put my feet up. I have to balance my feet on that wooden table, and then I curl up in the chair to the left, and you would think I have this like big space to fall asleep in. It's the most uncomfortable thing ever, and yet somehow I'm so drained after the show, I pass out for a few minutes. These 2 chairs are if we ever have a meeting. I have the world's smallest office. Fans probably think my office is this luxurious, beautiful space where I took up the majority of the space here that we were allotted. But the truth be told, when we were designing this place, I said, give me the smallest office possible. Because really, I knew that I don't really work out of an office. I just need a small space. And I'd rather Sal and Richard have a bigger space to create stuff, or Scott have a better studio, or our studio in here be bigger, which it is. It's pretty massive, so we have a staging area. If I start taking up space with my nonsense, for my ego, it's ridiculous. The whole decorating budget was something like, I don't know, it was a couple of grand. Beth went in and picked out a bunch of stuff, and that was my office. And I said to her one thing, I don't want a desk, I don't want an office, a typical office. Just make it like a comfortable living room. Like, can you make it so that we have a coffee table and some chairs? All the offices I ever had, and I use the word office loosely, but whatever radio station gave me some space, it was always like a desk, and I never sat at a desk, and I never operated that way. I'd rather sit in a comfortable chair. In today's society, with laptops and things, you don't need a big office. You don't need a big desk. My office is a sort of meaningless office. It's Spartan. I mean, I have a couple of pictures of my kids and Beth. This picture, Beth and myself, and that's it. And there's not any fancy furniture or anything, and that's probably the way it should be. I mean, who the hell's going to go spend a ton of money on an office? Pictures of Beth and some tchotchkes. This is my top secret thing that I have. Every office should have one. This is a little sound machine. Makes sleep noise. Hear that? Blocks out JD's laugh, because he laughs while he watches all this shit. JD goes, huh, huh, huh.
Look at this. Fucking bullshit.
I'm sorry he had to purchase a sound machine to drown out my cackling.
I tell JD on a daily basis to shut up.
And now that I have learned of this, I will try to keep my cackles to a minimum, or a low audible sound. I don't know.
He doesn't, though, so it doesn't matter.
I don't think I'm ever going to redecorate it. I mean, the idea of curling up in that chair in the fetal position when you're 6'5" is ridiculous. I look like Osama bin Laden trying to watch TV. And I don't think I'll ever fix it. I probably should, but I just haven't remedied it. Well, this wraps up the exclusive. There you have it.
There's a bunch of patients in the waiting room pissed off that Benjy's getting to skip the whole line and just get his x-rays while these two girls are escorting him around and sitting on his lap and flirting and being crazy in a doctor's office.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
We'll become Twitter friends and Facebook friends.
Sounds perfect.
We go to the x-ray room and I meet another girl there. She's the x-ray technician.
Should I go ahead and disrobe or?
No, you're good. Yes.
Do they need it? Do they need it?
I can disrobe with you. We can all disrobe.
Aren't the x-rays dangerous? If people don't take off, is that like?
We will cover it with an apron.
That's what I tell all the hot guys.
And then Benjy asked me if I'll lay on the x-ray bed with him. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is getting worse and worse. I don't want to hit your foot.
Oh, no, that's okay.
You gotta move over, so you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's like, you know, little, but. What is going on?
And you are here for?
Just to, you know,
be on the camera.
I have a really good insurance plan.
Okay, then we're gonna need to move around a bit, so.
Oh, you want me to get up while you do the x-ray?
Yeah!
Okay.
Was there a break?
I don't say.
That means no. All right. I need to brush my teeth, man. Is there a bathroom there?
It's outside.
Can we stop so I can brush?
Of course.
So we go to a bathroom and I want to clean up because that morning before, I felt like my breath was gross because I hadn't really got to wash. I was in so much pain before the show. I hadn't got really a full wash up. So I wanted to brush my teeth in case Carly and I made out.
Do you have a rubber?
Please stop looking at those x-rays, Ben. You're making me nervous.
Secret? Okay.
No, you're making me nervous the way you're, you know.
Stegosaurus.
I'm back with the doctor and he's going over the things with the ankle.
There are 3 grades of ankle sprains.
Okay.
Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, 3 being the worst.
Yeah, I was reading that online a little.
And you have a grade 3 ankle sprain.
Ah, fuck.
So, this is your primary ankle ligament, and this is completely torn.
Oh, fuck.
Notice all the blood in here and the blood down here. It's very swollen.
He also had a contusion, meaning there was a bruise to the bone. So the story that someone hit him with a chain is very believable based on what his ankle looked like.
If it hurts, you shouldn't bear weight on it. I'm going to give you some crutches. We'll give you crutches that fit you properly, a little bit better than those. I'm going to give you a boot to wear, and you're going to need at least a couple weeks in the boot, and then some physical therapy.
At that point, we put him in a cam walker, which is essentially a cast.
They put the boot on me, and they show me a little bit how to walk on the crutches.
You bend your leg back, bend your knee. There you go. And walk.
We had the whole office trying to teach Benjy how to walk with crutches. It was not successful. At this point, I didn't know what to do, so I sent him home in a wheelchair. Being that I've been in practice about 10 years, I've never sent a young person with an ankle injury home on a wheelchair.
Ooh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, dang, look at me find a cap now.
They wheeled me out with her on my lap. I should have taken her home. That was a big mistake. I should have just fucked it and she would have gone along with a bit. How long was your lunch break?
I don't know, 20 hours. 5. At first I was like kind of creeped out, but then as it went on, I got to know him throughout the hour.
I feel like I could have a shot.
Benjy probably doesn't have a shot with me because he's about the same age as my dad, but he made my first hour of the job more exciting than, you know, answering phones could be or something like that.
Welcome, everybody, to the 4th almost annual Inty Awards.
Tim and Jared, as interns, we know you guys are the big cheese around these parts, and we get that. Staffers have asked us to run to Subway, Starbucks, the occasional deli, But with you guys, it always seems like we're delivering God knows what to God knows where.
The one worst errand I thought was comical because I don't generally send people on bad errands compared to what other people have to do around here.
So tonight, Jared and Tim, we present you with the intie of worst errand.
When I interned for MTV, I had to test out a stunt by pouring honey over my entire body, rolling around the sand to see if my body could pick up dollar bills for a beach stunt at the TRL beach house.
You were rolling around with your shirt off. You're just bragging that you look good. I mean, come on, dude. Fuck you.
Since I knew I was nominated, I figured that night I should listen and see what the guys had to say.
Girl who talks to Jason for an hour after the show, we present you with the Intie Award for Who the F Is That Guy? We've chosen you because every day we know we can find you blocking our path in and out of the bullpen, hovering dangerously close to the Heinlein while talking to Jason about the weather, about baseball, about television shows, about the possibility of life on other planets, about literally anything and everything except what your job might actually entail.
Incredibly harsh. Some out-and-out lies were said.
I could tell when we were doing the Intie Awards that Kim and Jared in particular were not going to be happy.
They sounded a little entitled.
We've never seen you doing work, nor have you ever struck up conversation, or even really made eye contact with any of us, which is odd because you stand 2 feet from us for an hour a day. One day, maybe we'll discover why you've chosen to act like we don't exist while doing absolutely nothing. But until then, we present you the girl who talks to Jason for an hour after the show with the Intie for Who the F Is That Guy?
I think they wanted everyone back there to make them feel incredibly welcome, and that's fine, but I don't have anything to do with the interns.
So, sorry, you ungrateful interns. The only thing they took from my speech was that I was bragging that I worked at MTV, and that, again, I managed to bring up a way in which I was talking about having my shirt off, which wasn't the point of the story and made no sense if that's what they picked up on. So that pissed me off.
That Jared, any excuse to take his shirt off.
That's the definition of a humble brag. In that, in trying to tell us that we're ungrateful, he threw in that he interned for MTV and that he was at the TRL Beach House. Fuck you, Jared.
Katie?
No, exactly. We have to run around in the rain all over Manhattan and, like Pete said, Brooklyn, and he gets to show off his abs on the beach. Oh, look at me. I'm dripping in honey. What a goddamn shame.
The next morning, one of my coworkers, Kim Reese, came by my office and explained that she had been ripped in the intern show, and so have I.
So I did feel like I wanted to say something the next day.
So I grab Rob to bring the camera back and check it out.
We don't see you doing anything. It's not that you don't do anything, we don't see you doing anything. Which is definitely what I said. Okay, I stand by that. She was really sharp and really, really angry. And every time I tried to just diffuse it, I was like, I apologize, but I stand by what I said. She came back with...
Are you coming back next semester?
No, just the first few days.
Okay.
I know, it's sad, right? But it was really nice meeting you.
You too.
For the first time after a year. I've just been sitting right there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
I'm going to come back here and hug
I want camera hug.
you.
What? I wouldn't have afforded it.
Because it seems like they need hugging and hand-holding. I want your life stories.
An introduction, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize for that.
She told me to go back to my desk and do my work, which I did, and she continued to stand there bitching about me, but didn't actually do any work. So I think that almost sort of proves what I said, which is that she stands around and does nothing.
And from then, it just steamrolled.
Every single intern here is entitled.
I don't want to crowd you, John.
Gary,
Apparently, I just stand here all day.
Doing internships that I've done, you do really shitty stuff and the people don't give a shit. At least I apologize saying, I know this is a bad task every single time, but this is what you got to do. And if the interns feel that way, well, then they're just entitled, spoiled asses.
I will say that neither you or Kim work with the interns all the time, and these are probably the least entitled interns as opposed to the most. And I'm just being honest.
Did you say these are the least intelligent?
Entitled.
Oh, okay.
They're both basically mad about people talking shit about them on the air.
Kim yelling at Derek is great. Jared screaming at the interns. It's all good stuff. I'll just sit there and smile.
What have I made you do? What have I made you do? Ryan, who I feel was the most entitled intern and always had an air of arrogance with him. I had a little tiff with him.
On a hot August day, Jared Fox made me take Tim Sabian's suit to his personal apartment. In what way am I learning as an intern? Well, how's this educational?
You should listen to it and not just take Jason and Kim's side.
Am I not saying
yeah,
what
well,
was in there?
The wrong thing.
I talked to Jason about sports all day.
The stuff that they've said has been said by other people in the office, not just the intern.
Here's the educational value. You're working in the entertainment industry, you're going to be doing some shitty stuff along the way. That's your educational value. You run a test for a senior vice president, and you're going to sit here and bitch about that.
I did it.
And you bitched, literally, you walked in.
This is the first time I've ever
Literally,
bitched
you
about
walked in with this air of, this is such bullshit you have to do. You had this entire air, and I even turned to Tim and I said, clearly we picked someone that's gonna bitch about this.
I do not.
And another thing,
fuck
all you interns, I'm
funny.
Absolutely.
I agree, but they know who everybody is, and they don't know who you are.
Developing relationships.
Okay.
If I didn't have good relationships with these guys, I wouldn't get half of the stuff done.
Internships suck. That's the point of an internship in the entertainment industry. You're gonna do some shitty stuff, but along the way, you're gonna do some fun stuff. And then eventually you'll get a good job because you just put your head down and you do it. You don't bitch about it.
I don't know if Jared understood, like, hey, someone has to win worst errand. You and Tim did. And I was trying to get him to realize that, but I think he was just too caught up in the moment.
He didn't bitch about it.
Yes, he did. There was an entire show based on it.
No, there isn't. What
was the intern show last night?
It was about awards.
Okay, so he was bitching about it.
No, he wasn't even on the intern show last night.
The point being is that that's what it is, and they're saying that that's the test, then that's bitching about it.
This was definitely one of the better arguments we had in the office for a while. We've been looking for a good fight.
It was real. It involved all the interns. And like I said, the two people from our staff that were involved were passionate and angry the entire time. So that's always good.
Yeah, good for you.
My favorite line is,
Yeah? It's good knowing you, man. Clean out your locker. Get the fuck out of here.
Of course I'm not surprised that the NT Awards cause drama. That's what the NT Awards are for. If they didn't cause drama, they wouldn't exist.
I was a little bit proud to have them get under people's skin and make a mark, at least. And these guys need to know sometimes that this is the way they're looked at.
In terms of what I had to say, I think I made my point very clear.
A couple interns came up to me and apologized and said that that's not how they felt and they didn't vote for that award. I would absolutely do anything for those people because at least they were thankful for their internship.
I was really proud of this intern group and of the fourth almost annual INTI Awards. And whether another group can ever come close to the level that this group gave, I don't know. It remains to be seen. Will there be a fifth almost INTI Awards? Only time will tell. But kudos to these guys. They did a great job, not only being interns, but definitely with these INTI Awards.
So about a week later, after the show, I'm in the office, and Will says all of a sudden on the internet he sees that Wiener is doing another press conference and he's gonna resign. So I was like, I gotta go to this. I get Lisa G and the Howard TV camera guy Rob, and we get a cab and we head to Sheepshead Bay. This is not a date. This is just Lisa and I are both here doing work.
We're working.
It's a long ride. It's about an hour ride out there. And I'm also like, is this even worth it? Are we even gonna get in?
Are you nervous?
Well, because last time was so fun, you know what I mean? It was so perfect. Yeah, so a little bit. And also it's like a nervous of like getting in, whereas last time I didn't worry about that. If it worked, it worked.
Right.
There's huge lines already to get into this place. I was wondering, like, would I be recognized and was someone gonna stop me?
We might have to get physical at least to get in. All right?
That's all you.
Some people did recognize me, but once you got in, they just let you in. So I was able to get a seat. So we're just sitting there waiting for it to start, and I'm still nervous, like, are we gonna get recognized and get thrown out? It started circulating around. He will not, even though this is a press conference, he will not take any questions. He's just gonna give the speech and leave. Yeah! You go, boy. And he announced that he resigned after this was about 2.5, 3 minutes of speech. I'm actually shouting, no, 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 you can't.
Unfortunately, the distraction that I have created has made that impossible. So today I am announcing my resignation from Congress.
No! Someone else did that pervert line, which I didn't do, but I've gotten blamed for. When all that murmuring and shouting starts from the crowd, and I already know he said he's not gonna take questions, I'm like, I gotta jump up and start doing it now. He's already resigned, so I jump up and I do my first question.
My neighbors can choose a new representative.
Senator Wiener, the people must know! Why are you fooling erect? The people demand to know! Why are you fooling erect? Everyone starts screaming at me. It was like in a theater, it was like in a play when all the townspeople start yelling and everyone's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. But the people want to know! I want to know! Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey.
Sit down.
Hello.
Sit down.
I'm sorry. I'm being an ass at this point, and I was just being obnoxious. So I sit down, another, I don't know, minute or so of speech goes by, and then I jump up with,
We all agree.
Senator Wiener, fully aroused. Are you more than 7 inches?
Thank you.
Senator Wiener,
I also
fully
want to
aroused.
express my
Are you
gratitude
more than 7 inches?
to members of my
I'm
staff.
curious, aren't you guys?
There are
Is
young
anyone
people who
more?
are not paid very
Come on,
much.
who's with me?
There are people
Who's
that
with
work
me?
very hard and very long hours. Ultimately, those people define the notion of...
And he keeps on with the speech. Just as he ended the speech, and he's not taking any questions, but he starts walking away, I ask, will you maintain your hot physique and smooth, sexy chest? It's been written about that the cops like dragged me out, they tackled me, all this shit. That's all bullshit. The cops walked me out, were real nice. I just gotta be careful. Okay?
Yeah, no, take your time. Take your time.
That's a Howard Stern guy.
I'm with him. Take your time. Take your time.
Thanks. I got it. Oh. I just gotta pick this up.
Yeah, we just come down to see, that's all.
Okay. They set up a press area for people to talk to me outside the senior center.
It's all yours, guys.
This is something that the people wanted to know, and I felt the people deserved the right to know.
What's your name?
Huh? Bronk. B-R-O-N-K, Bronk. I was having a lot of fun with it. Do I look fat?
I'm not inside.
I want to know if I look fat. I know I'm chubby, but do I look... Ah, you dick. I will announce my... Oh, extra. Hey, she's hot, too.
So then why'd you do it?
Why'd you do it? Yeah. I'm a attention whore. Where's Mario Lopez? That's what I want to know. And where's Billy Bush?
All right, thank you.
I love you. What's your name?
Yvette.
Yvette, thank you very much. Are you on Twitter?
You made a fool and a mockery the whole thing.
Then I feel bad.
You don't feel bad.
Yes, I do. I wanted to be funny. I'm friends with George Takei. George Takei? I know him. I loved what happened after the conference, but I felt bad about what I'd done inside because I felt like I'd violated his right to give a speech, and I'm sorry.
Benjy. Dude, I don't know.
You can't. You're gonna hurt your back and your shoulder.
Doug, if you think it should be higher, fine.
Do I think?
No,
You're
no,
supposed to fucking line up with your armpits when you stand straight, not like a
dude,
retard.
This is gonna hit a nerve, and you won't be able to use your whole arms.
Now do you believe me?
Yeah,
No, I rehab.
You're not gonna be able to walk.
I just told him. He doesn't listen.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have them.
No, I know. It was just a temporary way so I could not have to crawl over here.
Yeah, but you have to adjust them.
No, Doug's going to.
I'll do it. He said he's going to do it for me.
All right.
Did you catch that?
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about my wedding, about Sal's best man speech, and about a lot of stuff with my wedding, just how fun it was, and Sal doing my makeup and things like that. And we talked about Pink Tie Guy, also known as Jared Fox, also known as Mr. Perfect Abs, Mr. Hot Ass, Mr. Handsome, Mr. Gorgeous. He has many nicknames. And that irked JD really good when all the single girls at my wedding were asking about Pink Tie Guy. So check it out.
We're now joined by the newly married Richard Christie.
I'm off the market.
The betrothed.
Yep, that's me.
Now, what did you think of today's wedding discussion? Did it go the way you expected?
Oh, yeah, it was fine. I mean, the important thing to me is that everybody was there, had a blast. We got so many nice emails and calls from people afterwards saying it was like the funnest wedding ever, and just that our family and friends came to celebrate with us. That was really, really important to us, and we loved that everybody had a great time. And like for you, I wanted to make sure the food was really good, and I think you liked the food.
That chicken was so good.
What kind of chicken?
Fried chicken.
Hey, can I ask a question? Because somebody sent out a bunch of notes, and I got notes from like 5 different people. But one thing they all touched on, they said that where you had the wedding was like sort of a little bit of a walk down on the pier, and that on the way into the wedding there was a rave.
Oh, it was nuts.
And that if you walked through the rave, people started yelling, who's the guy in the suit? And I heard there almost fistfights.
And we just happened to pick a day where it was a rave that involved everyone having free squirt guns, and like I got soaked. People just saw anybody that was dressed up and they'd squirt us with squirt guns, and we had no idea this was going to go on the same day. But once it was like going through a gauntlet, and once you got through that gauntlet, you were fine.
But I heard some people almost got in fistfights.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But and we felt bad because we had no idea this was going to go on the same day. But that was the one bad thing about it. But yeah, it was at South Street Seaport at a restaurant called the Sequoia, and Kristen and I we've been going there since we started dating. So
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, we love that area. And
so what made you decide? So the Asian guy that Howard kept making fun of was the guy that owns the restaurant or runs the restaurant?
No, he owns a restaurant in Queens, in Long Island City, where we live.
And so you just go there a lot and you see him a lot, and that's how you chose him?
Yeah, and we got engaged at his restaurant. And Mr. She is his name. He's Reverend She now.
I've thought for weeks, like Richard's been talking about, I thought he was hiring, I thought it was a she-male, and that was like his character name was the Mr. She.
At
first, it's S-H-I.
At first, I wasn't sure if he was putting on an act because this wasn't your typical wedding. It was a lot of fun, and you guys really had a good time with it, and everybody who came, I think, also had a good time. But it seemed, it was joking, even though it was a solemn thing. There was joking all throughout, and you really took a lighthearted approach to the wedding.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. We wanted it to be fun, and my wife and I are not religious people, and we didn't want it to be a religious thing. And Mr. She is very close to us. He babysat Ernie, our beta, whenever we'd go on vacation.
There you go.
And he's just like a really great friend, and we knew he's a very funny guy and very jovial, and whenever he's one of those guys that owns a restaurant that everybody knows that he's the owner because he goes around and hangs out with everybody, and we just love him, and we knew he would do a great job.
I thought everybody also was relatively well behaved considering how these things have gone otherwise. And I think it's because you two were the guys, and you couldn't really go crazy because it was your wedding, and Sal, you were the best man, and you were sort of organizing stuff and keeping it all together.
And I think Ronnie wanted to scare us. He kept saying, "Oh, wait till you hear my speech," and he was building it all up, and then he ended up being Ronald that night, and he was very well behaved.
Now, speaking of speeches, Sal, you took a couple hits for a couple comments that you made. Fair, or did the people who you hit sort of know you were going to make those comments about them?
What, Jason Kaplan's weight?
Well, besides Jason.
Yeah, that's the only person I hit.
But you said something, I heard you use some foul language a bunch when you got to make a speech.
When the maid of honor gave you the mic, you said...
I said, what a nice piece of ass.
Right, do you think that's appropriate for a stranger?
I think it's a compliment. I think it's something that, I think she was pleased by it. I could have said, what an ugly cow. I didn't say that. I said something very nice.
How about you don't say anything?
How about I give my speech the way I want to give it? It's my fucking speech.
What a beautiful lady.
And let me tell you.
I like that he says it's a compliment, but if you say it to somebody at work, you're going to get in big trouble.
It's an HR violation.
We're not at work. When at a wedding, give a good wedding speech. You know what? It was just a spontaneous thing. I didn't have that particularly planned, but I was hanging out with her in the back. We were drinking. We were talking about Philadelphia and how much we loved it. And then she gave a speech, and I just got a good look at her, and it just hit me. And boom, what a hot piece of ass.
Now, when you do something like that, and you go back to your table, does your wife go, why do you have to do that, or you're a jerk?
In this case, she disappeared for about 45 minutes.
Sorry about that.
And I didn't know where, I thought she really left, and I said to myself, did I really cross the line this time? And I don't think I did, because everybody was coming up to me saying it was a great speech.
It was.
And thank you. And I was running around looking for her, and I finally found her out on the deck. But I go, where the fuck were you? Are you pissed off? She goes, no. She goes, I'm just having fun, just like you are.
Right, having fun by not being with you.
Exactly.
What did you think was
unfortunately?
What did you think would be questionable there, other than
the hot piece of ass line, maybe? And I did run the speech by my wife, and she's like, you know what? It's a little crude in areas. I go, but it's not. I go, I'm not doing anything really over the top. I think it's appropriate. It addresses all of Richard's quirkiness and the fact that I love him and what a great guy he is.
What about referring to Richard's mother as the lady with the golden vagina?
At that point, well, that was taken out of context.
Well, she is a redhead, so
How so?
Yeah.
What's the good context of
Okay,
that?
I'll tell you. We were in the back. The Christies showed up, and like Richard said, I've been with the Christies before. We get along fine, and you have to know your comfort zones with people. You have to know what the lines are. And we were drinking. We were having a lot of fun, and I was saying to her, you're the woman with the golden vagina, and it just spontaneously turned into a funny conversation, and I read her well. She was laughing. Mr. Christie, Thomas, was dying laughing, and Richard was in the room as well. Richard did say at one point, "Mom, you don't have to put up with that." And I said, "Well, if I'm crossing the line, I'm sorry." She's like, "No. What you're saying is fine." But I didn't think it was that bad. It was a compliment to her vagina and to Richard Christie that she created him, and that's an amazing thing.
I don't want to get too deep into your psychological.
It was a compliment to her vagina. That's what you're saying.
Well, I didn't say smelly vagina, fat vagina. I could say that about other women. I said she has a golden vagina. She made the great Richard Christie. The whole Christie clan is golden to me.
I don't want to get too deep into your mind.
And I had a few in me, and I was being loose and fun. What do you want me to be, a dud? Do you want me some shitbag who sits in the corner, just stirs his coffee all night, that nobody gives a fuck about, like Scott Salem, and you just stare at him, and you want to blow your brains out? You're having a little fun. That's all. Nobody got hurt. There were a couple of chuckles passed, a couple of beers that were drank, and everything was fine. Take it easy.
Were you offended at all that he said that about your parents?
Nah, it was fine. They knew it. My parents are cool. They raised me on movies like Party Animal and Revenge of the Nerds, and they got a great sense of humor. So
that's actually her nickname in Kansas. Is Golden Vagina.
I wouldn't have said it to Richard's fiance's parents because I don't know them that well. But I was just.
But you said something earlier. I don't want to probe too deep into your mind, but you said you know where the lines
Not
are,
much to
right?
probe.
But why do you always seem to feel that you have to push the line?
I didn't push the line.
Well, sure you did. You said I knew where the line was, and then I pushed it a little.
I walked the tightrope.
Right, but why do you feel the need to walk the tightrope? Do you ever feel?
I don't.
You do, though.
I do now because of you guys. You guys have implemented this paranoia into my fucking skull that every time I open my mouth.
We're the first person. We're the first people who ever told you you're inappropriate in a public setting.
The first people that I listened to.
Your wife's never told you that.
Yeah, of course she has.
Yeah, but I want to go back.
I was convinced that my wife is just, she's just an uptight woman who doesn't get it. But now you guys are saying it. So I walked the tightrope and I put my arm around Mrs. Christie and we were having some laughs and I complimented Richard.
Chris in L.A., welcome to the Wrap-Up Show.
Hey, I was just asking if Richard, now that he's married, if all the gay stuff between him and Sal is going to stop or if it's going to continue.
No, I think there was plenty of gay stuff at the wedding between me and Sal.
What?
We were just messing around. I think we kissed each other and stuff.
No, we didn't.
When we were posing for pictures and stuff, we were being a little bit.
How did we do? Howard wasn't as interested in this as I was, but I couldn't. What on earth was he doing? He was doing your makeup. What were you doing? What were you putting on your face?
I have the opposite of what Sal has. Like Sal has the raccoon eyes. I have real white eyes in photographs. So Sal he was a great best man, and he got me some makeup to cover up the white around my eyes.
Well, in all honesty, a while ago when we did one of those B movies, a lady suggested with Richard with his pictures that she put some cover up on him. So I took the cover up from the lady and I said, look, on your wedding day, if you want, so you don't have those white eyes in your pictures, I'd be happy to do it. And that's how it happened.
That might be the gayest act you guys ever did.
But you know what? it looked great, and Richard came out great in the pictures. And she said, and a lot of people say that apparently a lot of men do put on makeup for wedding pictures. I've never personally heard of that.
Yeah, with that new law in New York, of course they do.
The funniest part for me was watching that. I realized that Richard wears a wife beater T-shirt.
Yeah, well, I do because I sweat a lot, so I had to wear it under my tux so I wouldn't get all sweaty and soak through it. Because it was a rented tux, I didn't want it to get all sweaty and gross.
Jody in Jersey, you're on the Wrap-Up Show.
Hey, I was looking at the pictures of the Christie wedding online, and I noticed JD and High Pitch Mike slow dancing. So did JD get lucky?
With High Pitch Mike?
Yeah.
I don't know. JD can come down and answer that question, but you couldn't miss Mike because of his shirt that he was wearing.
The orange one.
Oh, he wore that for me. It was orange, like a Halloween-type shirt. And Mike caught the bouquet, so maybe we'll hear wedding bells soon for Mike. And can I tell you guys another funny little note about the wedding too? So, like all of my wife's single friends that were there, they were all asking about one guy, and the nickname for the guy was Pink Tie Guy. They kept saying, "Who's Pink Tie Guy?" He was the talk of the wedding.
Who is
with all the single girls?
I think I know who it is.
And you could probably guess who Pink Tie Guy was, but then JD was asking about
Balinson? Richie Balinson?
No, it wasn't Richie.
Who was it?
It was Jared Fox, of course. And JD heard this, and he texted my wife. He says, "I hate all your friends now," because JD wanted to know who, like, a lot of her friends were.
You were upset by Pink Tie Guy, we hear?
Huh? Well, when, we're sitting there, in the office, and all of a sudden Richard comes around and goes, "Hey," to Jared, "Hey, were you wearing a pink tie?" He goes, "Yes." She goes, all of Kristen's friends want to know who was Pink Tie Guy. It was a little, I didn't need to hear that.
And right away, JD goes, "Fuck you, Jared." Like, right to his face.
Are you surprised?
I told him to fuck off. I said, get the hell out with that.
But are you surprised? I mean, we all have mirrors.
No, I'm not
These are good
surprised.
looking
I don't need it in my face either.
Pink tie guys are always going to be in your face.
I know, Gare. I just don't need to hear it.
Are you saying that none of Kristen's friends were asking about Double Chin Guy?
Oh, you're so funny, Will.
DCG.
Why were you dancing with High Pitch Mike? The caller wanted to know.
I thought it was fun. It'd be funny.
It was cute. We looked over and we were dancing next to him. It was sweet.
He thought Mike was a cheese doodle. He was going to eat him. An orange outfit.
Both of you can go fuck yourselves, all right?
Did you have a good time at the wedding?
Yeah, it was all right. No, I'm just having not
when he
such a
says
good time here.
When he says all right, it means he had a blast, because he usually doesn't have any kind of good time.
Would you describe it as a typical wedding, or was there something unique about this?
I don't know. It was.
How many weddings have you been to besides Howard and Richard's and Jason's?
I've been to Will's. I've been to Jason's, and that's about it, really.
How did JD look in his new suit? I didn't get a chance to see.
He got all decked out. I think you tweeted a picture of you in the new suit. Did you not?
Sharp.
I thought so. People said it was too big, but
So were you talking to anybody that night? Did you get any numbers?
No.
Do you go to an event like that going, okay, it's my friend's wedding, but she's young. The bride's young. There should be a lot of hot single chicks there. Do you go there with hope?
Do I go there with hope?
Yeah.
Sure, I go there with hope, but,
At what point does it just go away?
As soon as I walk into the room.
I thought you were going to say when Pink Tie Guy walks into the room.
Yeah, of course.
Are you hopeful enough, do you clean your apartment before you go?
Or bring condoms?
I don't think I have any condoms. No.
Did you have to walk through the rave like some people?
Yes, I did.
And how would you describe that?
I described that as the biggest pig fuck I've ever had to walk through.
That was your kind of music, though.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be listening to it and having to fight through a crowd when I'm trying to get to a wedding and sweating my ass off, and my dress shoes are digging into the back of my heels, and I'm almost having to stop Pan DePace from getting into a fight with someone. So
yeah, that's what I heard. DePace almost got into a fight.
Yeah, some fucking chick was dancing, and it's just a whole mess.
Yeah, Pam was upset.
Yes.
But we all had a good time at the wedding.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, our fearless leader, Tim Sabian, came in. He was involved in a little bit of controversy. First, he yelled out something inappropriate at Richard's wedding, so we talked about that for a while. But then the big thing was he had played a practical joke on Ross, who works with us, took a picture of his bald spot without Ross knowing about it, posted it to everybody on the web so that we could all see it. And Ross and Tim sort of confronted each other for the first time on the wrap-up show, and it was pretty real, a lot of fireworks. Here's what happened.
Who's more wild these days, Tim or Ronnie?
Well, that's become the discussion. Tim is he's full of this kinetic energy. He's really he just seems to be full of energy. He's always doing stuff. I had a weird morning because that thing happened with Ross at the meeting yesterday where he took a picture of Ross at our meeting of Ross's bald spot. So we did a whole thing on the air this morning. Then Ross walks in and everybody's like, "What'd you think? What'd you think?" And Ross hadn't heard it, didn't know what it was about.
Oh, really?
No. And he's like, I'm looking on Ross is looking on his Twitter page and people are saying, you better listen to the show. So Ross walked into my office and he said, "What happened?" And I explained it very matter-of-factly. And while I was explaining it, Tim walked in and they had sort of a weird confrontation. Ross is like, "What are you doing, man? We're at work." Because if we're out drinking, it's one thing, but what are what are you doing? What's going on with you? And Tim was like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Come on, get over it. Ross was like, no, I'm not getting over it. It was very awkward.
Yeah, Howard alluded to the fact that Ross would be upset with this, but I didn't know that he took the picture or anything.
And then Ross said to me, why didn't you tell me he took the picture? And like Jason and I were looking, and first of all, Tim was fumbling a little bit, so we weren't sure what was going on. And then afterwards, he sort of held it up like he took it. I thought Ross was going to see it, and he didn't. And I just didn't give it much thought because A, I wanted to get out of the meeting and leave, and B, I thought that's where it would end. Nobody was more surprised than me when it ended up on Lotus Notes last night, sent out to everybody in the group.
Well, Tim's defense was he's just, breaking balls like anybody else around here does.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know how to,
Ronnie?
I wouldn't go down that road.
I agree. I mean, we could all do that all day long.
I mean, I know Ross for years, but I don't know him as well as Gary. But I know well enough what irks him. I know that would really, really irk him.
Yeah,
it's a sensitive thing for him. I know.
I talked about it once on the air, and I felt terrible about it. I talked to Howard. Ross let me stay at his apartment, and I saw some stuff I probably wasn't supposed to see, and I talked to Howard about it during the break, and Howard brought it up on the air, and it was
What
really...
do you mean, like a toupee or something?
No. And I felt like shit. Like, I went to Ross, and I go, here you are, do me a favor, let me crash at your place, and, I was wrong. And again, I didn't talk about it on the air. Howard brought it up on the air, but it was bad. So I understand it's a sensitive point, but Ross's bigger issue is whether it's sensitive or not, like, we're at work.
Yeah, this is during a meeting.
Right, this is during a meeting, and Ross had no idea what was going on, so I think he was pretty upset about it.
Now, Tim, we all know, and I see him walking down the hall now, he's a fun-loving guy. He always has been. He'll always give you a hug. He's got great energy and emotion, and he cares more probably than anybody else about this show. But it seems like lately...
What's wrong with you?
Tim, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, and you're telling me you're just having fun like everybody else, correct? Do you feel unfairly accused here of going too far?
Well, I just think, first of all, my management style is to have fun with people and make people feel comfortable. We work in a very creative environment, and if you run it like an insurance company, I think it suppresses creativity. And you got to have fun with people and interact with people. And yeah, we do the business. The business is always the backbone of everything we do. And we run it, it's very passionately and seriously. But you got to have some levity and some fun around here because it does. It promotes camaraderie, promotes creativity, and it just makes it a more enjoyable place to work.
Now, what about at the wedding? I mean...
Oh, the wedding! No.
Hey, fuck you, Tim.
Everybody was having fun. I thought it was a very loose kind of environment, and everybody was kind of joking around. I mean, you see Richard Fish sitting on a chair, in the wedding, and it was a loose environment. It was a really nice time and really a lovely evening, and everybody was having some fun. So it was no more than that.
You had a good time, right?
Yeah, it was very nice. Very, very nice.
And so, Ronnie, is this just a case of you guys just having a good time and Howard picking up on from notes that somebody sent him and trying to make something of it? Or do you think that Howard's got legitimate reason to be concerned here?
Well, in my case, I was, like I said, I was sitting there, had no clue that Tim was there. Everybody was sitting for the wedding already. Tim came in late, obviously. I didn't know he was there. And then all of a sudden, I just heard this yell out. And I heard the voice. I knew it was him, so I knew he was there. And I just said, shut up, asshole. I didn't do it to interrupt the wedding because the wedding hadn't started yet.
Well, I think Howard's point was that's not the appropriate place to do that, period, regardless of when it starts or anything like that.
Understood. But it's Richard's wedding. I mean, everybody was having a good time. Everybody was joking around. We were joking around about the fish. We were laughing about that. We were looking at this one, laughing at that one. I mean, I didn't mean any harm by it. I don't think Tim did either, but,
Well, in defense of you guys, it definitely was not your typical wedding environment.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff flying around like that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I mean, Richard coming with a suitcase of beer, getting makeup put on. I mean, that's a normal wedding.
Hey, when I saw the goldfish on the chair, all bets were off.
Yeah, that's what we were joking about that. The thing was sitting behind me with some guy, some friend of his, brought the thing in a bowl.
I've never seen a betta fish with a tux.
And it's sitting there,
Now, Gary, is Howard concerned about Tim?
I think a little bit. You seem full of energy lately.
because I've had a lot of rest, and I'm finally starting to get to a place of happiness and enjoying life again. And, I have a great enthusiasm for my job, a great enthusiasm for what I do, and for the people that I work with. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, do you feel bad about taking that picture of Ross and sending it out?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because Ross is a very dear friend of mine.
Now you're full of shit.
Now, oh, come on. No, Ross. No, Ross and I are very dear friends. Insurance? What's that?
You make no sense.
What are you talking
want to make
about?
people feel comfortable?
Exactly.
How does that make people feel comfortable? We're in a meeting. I said this to Gary earlier. If we're in a bar, we're all drinking, and I'm in on the joke, funny.
All right,
But
I'm
we're
sorry,
in a
Ross.
meeting.
Ross, I officially, in front of the world to see, I officially
But I don't think
apologize
you'll
to you.
change. Maybe this will
I
be
officially
the
apologize to you,
intervention you
okay?
need. I love you, but you've gone off the track recently, and I don't know how to get you back. I'm being honest. I'm giving you tough love.
No.
Yes,
Ross,
I'm serious.
Really? Ross, really? Do you want to go there?
No,
Don't go there,
but
Ross.
you went there already.
Ross, don't go there.
But you went there.
Don't go there.
Don't do it again, Tim.
Easy. I apologize to you, okay?
Okay.
Go where?
I won't go there. I won't go there.
I don't know where we're going, but
exactly.
This came. We found out just now, Ross. Gary said this came as a total surprise to you this morning. What did people email you and tweet you and say, "Hey, you better listen because something's going on the show"?
I don't know, 7 something, and I'd just go to my Twitter feed and it's just like mentions, and it says it's all these different comments, and I'm like, what the hell going on? And then I think someone tweeted out from the Stern Show saying that with Tim and Howard was giving him some crap and Zapin in the photo, so I didn't know.
But you didn't know what the photo was.
No idea. And then I figured I'd listen to the replay when I came in, but as soon as I walked in, Doug's shaking his head. I go, "What happened?"
Well, Doug comes to me and he goes, "I better warn you."
Hey, it was funny. It was funny.
What's funny about it?
It was funny.
It's funny when you're in on the joke.
It's funny. Sorry, Ross. I'm sorry. I apologize to you in front of the world.
Tim, I love you. But you're
I love
saying
you too.
You're apologizing for something and you feel bad, but then you're saying it's funny. And I'm telling you, it's not funny.
Okay, it wasn't
but you
funny.
keep going back there.
It wasn't funny. It's over with. All right? Let's move on.
I hope you can move on.
I did.
And not do it again.
I did. I moved on.
Well, it wouldn't be funny if you did it again.
Gary, how tough is it to sort of...
Well, maybe it would.
Respect that line between, hey, we're having a good time, and yeah, we're at a meeting, but I'm joking. Like Tim says, he wants a fun-loving environment, but then you've got situations where people can be hurt by what you're doing.
Well, we should
Didn't sound like fun.
We should start out by saying that these meetings, when they first started, when we first got here, there was another sales guy that worked here named Sam, and Sam was sort of a fun-loving guy too. And Sam and Ross used to tweak each other. Mostly Sam would tweak Ross, and they would get into these arguments. And it became a big thing. Like, guys, we're here for a meeting.
It was like World War III every meeting.
Let's cut the shit. So the meetings have sort of become like it's let's just do our business. So I was a little surprised that this showed up in the middle of the meeting.
What Tim did was a sucker punch. It's like one thing if you and I were just horsing around or whatever you're talking about before, like a great fun environment, and then you do something. But I'm actually sitting there on the couch discussing the ad sales stuff.
We were done.
We weren't done.
Yes, we were. We were finished. We were getting up and walking out. I swear, and I thought it was a great picture. You're nice and tan. I did.
See, you're going there again.
So
you just
all right, I'm
slipped
done.
back
I got to
in
go
there.
back to work.
No,
I gotta
stay
go back.
it. Take it like a man.
No, I apologized. I did take it like a man.
You apologize, and then the other side of you is going, funny, great picture.
All right, I won't. You know what? I'm not going to smile anymore. I'm going to walk around
to the meeting
depressed.
anymore.
Is everybody happy now? I'm depressed.
The lights went out. Look what you did. You just blew the lights out.
I'm going back to work. I got a job to do.
But Tim, as you're leaving,
I think photography now.
I think that what Ross. If I just say, I think what Ross's issue
I
is
Photoshop some more hair on Ross.
I think what Ross's issue is with that. We're not
see? You see that?
What did he say?
He doesn't.
I mean, I can go to so many places with him, but I haven't gone there.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody can go to a lot of places around here.
That's right.
I apologize to Ross profusely.
But I think what Ross is saying, Tim, is that you're apologizing, but then you're making light of it as if you're not really sorry, like saying your finger accidentally hit the camera.
What am I going to do? What do you want? Blood?
No, I want you.
Oh no, Ronnie breaks the goddamn mic. Great. That's coming out of your check. Give me that screw.
Is this a situation?
Okay, Mr. Geico.
Is this a situation where, like, Tim's not realizing how sensitive Ross is to this particular thing?
Oh,
it's
when Ross calls me fat. I'm not sensitive about that?
Yeah, you missed that in the office when they were talking.
Yeah.
He goes, how about if I take some pictures of you in your fat suit?
Yeah, exactly. But
I did it to your face.
I don't say that.
I'm not on the air.
I did it to your face.
No, you do it all the time. I'm fat. And I just roll it, let it roll off,
right,
whatever.
I do it all the time.
25 pounds, I'm fat. Okay.
Tony in Ohio, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, fuck Ross. He's a hypocrite.
Why?
Well, a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, he said something shitty about somebody. He laughed it off like it was no big fucking deal. But he can't take it. Fuck that guy. He's a hypocrite.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide who to side with, the fat guy.
I
or
don't
the
remember
balding
Ross
guy.
being on the Rapid Show a month ago.
Yeah, but I think Tony, if I can make a point, there's a difference between you said this, I said that, whereas you took a picture of me when I wasn't looking in an embarrassing position and sent it out to all my colleagues. I could understand why he could be a little upset. Tim.
Mark in Buffalo, what do you think about this?
All right, and thanks for 6 years of the best radio ever. Tim's right to apologize, but I feel like we've gotten into the Ross bad breath conversation from a couple years ago. Ross, he's not creating. Listen, I'm just saying he's not creating you being bald. He's not altering the image. I mean, it's wrong of him to do it, and he's owning it. But I mean, it's nothing wrong with losing a little bit of hair, man. You're a man.
That's not the point.
Right, but that's where you're going with it.
Exactly, Tim, didn't you?
What I said.
You're agreeing with the guy.
No, I said.
Yeah, but Ross isn't bald.
Too many U-turns.
He has a bald.
It's not the point. Well, it is the point, but the point being, it's like, Tim, we're in a meeting. It's like it's a professional atmosphere, and you just
the meeting
totally
was over. It was over.
All right, I'm over with this.
Well, Tim's got to own it either way.
But Ross, would you mind if it happened like outside? I mean, it's up to you.
That was my point. The point is, if he's saying it was funny, we're trying to have a great environment, or I was included in the joke when you emailed it out and go, haha, look what you got here. But obviously, he didn't send it to me. He sent it to everybody else to make a joke about it.
Created almost 45 minutes of content.
Great, and everybody's bored by it. So let's just move on.
Let's move on. Exactly.
All right, let's take one last call. Matt in Virginia, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, I just
Matt,
wanted to get in. I just wanted to get in here and say, hey, Tim, obviously we want to hear you go there because I don't think you have anywhere to go. Why don't you just blow it up?
Exactly.
Where are you going, Tim?
Exactly, Matt.
All right, thanks there, Matt.
Matt, thank you for the words of encouragement.
All right, so you two going to get along, or is this going to linger here?
Ross and I are tied by the...
You seem over it, Tim, but I don't think Ross is.
I don't think Ross is over it. I can see Ross.
You know what?
Man.
I'll get over it because I have to want to work with him. But there's a part of me that there's a disconnect with him that he hasn't. He's apologizing to my face, but deep down, I don't think he realizes it was wrong.
Ross,
and I don't think he learned from his mistakes.
Look at me. Ross, look at me. Look at me.
Tim,
Ross, look at me. Look at me, Ross. Look at me in the eyes. I love you. Ross, look at me.
You love me when you sent the picture. You love me after you sent the picture. So I don't think there's any difference. I don't think you did it maliciously. I think that there's a disconnect that you don't realize what's right and what's wrong with this. And I still don't think you do. I think you're upset that I'm bothered by it, but I don't think you know the difference.
No, I'm sorry that I upset you.
Okay.
All right. And
All
I
right.
love you.
Well, let's just move on.
And we'll move on.
Okay.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, I sure walked into it. Ross Zapin was on for day 2 of screaming about Tim and the bald picture and sending it out on email. And then I got thrown into it because Ross wasn't happy with a tweet I sent out saying that I thought Tim was funny on the wrap-up show. So we got into it. He called me unprofessional. I called him unprofessional. And it went rapidly downhill from there. So if you'd like to see 2 grown men argue and one grown man's face turn so red you think he's going to cry, check it out.
I asked you to come down because you're angrier today than you were yesterday.
Yes.
Why? I mean, when we left here yesterday, you guys sort of had it out. It seemed like you kind of made up. And now Gary's saying you're more pissed off at Tim and you're pissed off at Jason.
So we'll deal with the Tim situation first. I mean, you know what? It is a sensitive subject, and I would let it roll off my back. But the more and more he talks about this and we talk about it, it's like backhanded, I'm sorry. And then hearing today when he was in Gary's office and he goes, wah. You know what? At this point, if he really truly knew it bothered me and he wanted to move on, he would just said, I'm sorry, and that's it. And he's still making a joke of it. So I heard your point, like, does he know he's busting my balls? It's beyond that. And the other point that was brought up is that I'm in your circle, or I circle your circle, but I'm not in that circle. And for him to, in terms of the jokes that go on, and for him to send out that email with the subject matter is bullshit.
and doesn't even include me in it. So how do and I don't dish it out. I don't go on Twitter and
that's the thing I wanted to bring up. Ross is like, everyone's saying, well, Ross dishes it out, and he's saying, well, how do I?
How do I dish it out? Am I in your little Lotus Notes crew when something happens and I send a picture, or I'm busting someone's balls, or I don't write an email correctly, or I hear all the little shit that goes on, but I'm not a part of that world. So Tim, you are. So that was where I was sucker punched, and for him to keep saying, I'm sorry, and there comes Jason. I'm glad because he's next. I woke up this morning. I was, and then I'm getting all these messages from the Stern haters or the Zapin haters, and it's like I don't need that.
Well, what do the hating messages say?
Yeah, what are the Zapin haters saying?
The Zapin haters are saying, "How
do they
shut
get to
up?"
you?
On Twitter.
On Twitter.
Zapin Fan Network.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They're talking about my wife's roles that they might have, enough of that, and, shut up and deal with it.
But Tim said, and he said it here, he's like, you call me fat all the time. You think
don't
I
call
like
him
that?
In fact, I was walking to work today, and I said to myself, when do I do that? Yes, I took a shot at him in the office. I protect that guy. He's been through a bunch of stuff, and I've been there for him. And I've seen his weight fluctuate. I see people give him shit, and I'm around people go, oh, what I'm with Tim. I go, oh, he's working on it. And everybody gives him a shot about his green drinks and everything else. I think I've been a true friend to the guy.
All right, well, Tim's not down here to defend himself and his fat, but Jason is. So you should start on Jason and why you're upset with him.
Yeah, I don't need this to be an on-air situation, but I will. I thought, it's one thing if you're in charge of the Howard Twitter feed and whatever happens on the show, that's your responsibility.
Yes.
But when you went to your personal Twitter feed and wrote what you wrote yesterday, why?
Well, tell him what did he write?
Because it was ball busting. I fucking love ball busting. Had nothing to do with you
so
personally.
Do you want me to start ball busting you?
Yes, go crazy with the ball.
I don't want to. You know what? I said this to Gary earlier. I care about the little people. I don't mean the little people, but I know where I came from, and I was really a friend of yours and a friend of Will's, and I bust his balls about the Philadelphia Phillies. But when Yankee Stadium opened, I took you along for a tour. I've always helped you out with tickets.
I set up
you
that
wanted
tour.
Some dressing advice, so you came to me and said, "Hey, look, I don't want to look like a schlump anymore." Hold on a second. Wait. What am I making up?
You're making it. First of all, I set up that tour. Greg Bonini, he wrote to both of us, and you didn't want to do it. All right, so fuck.
Wait, hold on a second.
Second of all, first of all, let's explain what the tweet was. Yesterday, I'm listening to the wrap-up show in the back office, and Tim's leaving. And Power played the clip this morning, and as Tim was walking out, he shouts out that he's going to go Photoshop hair on Ross's picture.
Right.
Now, to me, that was just such a fucking classic moment. Like, here you are, two guys, they're arguing with each other. Tim's way off mic, and he just shouts that out, and I busted out laughing. And I've been putting ball busting notes up on Twitter all week. So I go, ball busted Tim Sabian. I put the quote up. I go, my new hero. That had nothing to do with Ross.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with me?
It was just a joke with the ball busting.
Let's go back.
I put notes up about the wrap-up show almost every day on my personal feed.
Let's go back. But I cared about you as a friend.
What fashion advice did you get
I've
from
helped
Ross?
you out.
Clearly great fashion advice.
No, clearly you just put on too many pounds so you can't fit into anything else.
Oh, Baldy, come on.
So I'm done. I'm going to be your coworker. We have to coexist.
Fine, Ross,
in this.
stop being my friend. See, this is what I'm talking about. Tim was wrong. But look how sensitive Ross is. I sent out a fucking tweet about the wrap-up show yesterday, and now this is a statement on our friendship, and he's not going to be my friend anymore, and he used to treat me good, but he won't treat me good. You are the most sensitive motherfucker on the planet.
Okay, so
goodbye.
It's a fact. You're right.
Right, you're out of my life.
But
right, is that what you want?
But we're
not
ignoring
friends?
the fact that what I said was I thought you were wrong.
Okay, and I disagree with you.
Okay. You're entitled to that.
Thank you. As so are you. Now, does this mean our friendship is over?
I don't think there is a friendship.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you see it that way.
You don't see it that way.
No.
You think everything is fine. You don't think the way you conduct yourself in the office that you think that you're a Gary Jr.
What?
You don't think that...
How about the way you conduct yourself in the office? How many times do I see you yelling at people, screaming at people, getting in fights with other salespeople in our meetings, getting in fights with Gary, slamming the door shut, going on Twitter, oh, Howard won't let me in the bathroom. How fucking professional is that?
First of all, I didn't go on
Twitter. You want to talk about your conduct?
Hold on a
yeah,
second.
right, you went to Howard's house and complained about it.
First off, I didn't go on Twitter about it. Second off,
can
I finish? You made a statement. I'm going to finish it. So when I raise my voice in a meeting with a salesperson, it's to discuss something. It's not yelling at them. It's about talking about what?
No, it's not. I've seen you get in fights with the sales guy Sam.
Do you know what I do?
Do you know what I do?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, then I know what you do.
I know you produce the show. I know you work on the show. You work on the bits. I know everything you do, and you do a good job of it.
Thank you.
So I asked you, do you know what I do?
Yes.
What do I do?
You're the promotions guy. You're the.
But what do I do? That's my title. What do I do?
What do you do?
Yes.
You're the Well, you're saying that I do producing. I'm saying you do promotions. I mean, that's what you said. You produce stuff and you take pictures.
So my point is, what I'm saying to you is, you just accused me of yelling and screaming and doing things when I said to you, you're a Gary Jr. So I
so we're
explained to
both
you
making accusations.
why I act a certain way, and I don't yell and scream.
Yes, you do. And I don't see anyone else here yelling and screaming like you do. So if you're gonna call my professionalism into question, I will call yours.
Is Gary Jr. an insult or a compliment?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's a Gary Jr.?
Yeah, and I'll take Gary Jr., by the way. I don't know why people say, you want to be Gary. Of course I want to be Gary.
Okay,
Gary's a successful radio producer for 25 years on the greatest radio show ever.
Gary's been doing this for 25 years?
Maybe longer.
28.
I've been doing it for 10.
Okay. So when you get another 18 years under
How many
your
years
belt,
have you worked in radio?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about what I observed about you. Okay.
So you observe that I try and emulate my boss's
I feel
behavior.
that sometimes you flex a little more than you should for some of the power you have, and I don't think you've earned it yet.
And I think that you flex.
My
and I think you flex way more than you should. You hold things over people's head all the time. You get into business that you shouldn't be in, and that you act like the whole world should just fall. Hell, are you going to let me finish my statement?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what power you think I have or don't have. What power I have is up to Gary and Tim Saban.
I didn't say the power you had. I
it.
said the way you conduct yourself.
And the way you conduct yourself, I think, is very childish.
If you understood
and
what
unprofessional.
I did, I understand what
I
you
understand.
do. You don't.
Dude, I don't care if you were the president of the United States. When you start calling people fat and ugly in meetings like you do to Sam Ben Ruby, you start screaming at Gary. There's doors being slammed. Oh, Gary, you're killing me. You're killing me. How many times does Gary have to tell you no to something before you'll get the fucking picture to stay out of his fucking office?
So now we're going to the way I asked to do things, and if I hear no,
yes, you're very unprofessional. No, you can fight for your cause. You go in there, you slam door, you're screaming on the top of your lungs. I mean, you want to talk professionalism? Let's talk professionalism.
Jason,
I don't think you're very
I'd
professional.
have a little more respect for this conversation if you knew what I did and knew what went on.
Okay, so
why
I'll tell you
the question was asked. If you're there for every step of the way and understand what the pressures or what the desires and what the needs are of why I'm bringing that subject matter to Gary,
yes,
I would have more respect for you to talk to me and say why I slammed it or why I didn't want to hear no.
And if you knew everything I did and the pressures and the responsibilities that we have on the Stern angle of it, and then when you come in there like a mental patient and goes, oh, we need to mix in secret words.
Hold on a second.
We need to mix in secret words into the show for advertisers. And it's just like Gary says no to it, I don't know, every day for 4 years. I mean, when are you going to give it
now
up?
You're going way off the reservation. Now you're going to
what reservation?
But now you're bringing up...
I'm calling you unprofessional. That's the reservation.
Hold on, no. Now you're saying when I come into Gary with an ad sales, when a client wanted something...
Right. And you don't take no for an answer. And that's fine. Maybe that's you doing your job. I don't think it's very professional. I don't see anyone else acting like that around here.
Are you making fun, or are you criticizing me for coming in and bringing up something that made no sense to you?
No, I'm criticizing you for not taking no for an answer and bringing it up every week for 3 years.
Okay, I don't know if you know Sales 101, but you don't take no for an answer.
Well, then your demeanor
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question.
Do you book guests?
Yes.
Okay, when you want your big guest for Geek Time and someone says no to you the first time, do you ever ask again?
Well, I don't threaten them like you do.
Well, now I'm threatening people?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
How did I, Gary, do I threaten you?
I'm waiting to hear what he has to say next.
You bit Sam Ben Ruby.
No, I'm waiting to hear what he says.
You coming off.
So wait,
they got so much money.
Hold on a second, Jason. You have a wonderful way of deflecting. I asked you a question. Yeah. Answer it.
Yes.
You accuse me of not taking no for an answer and keep coming back.
Right.
When you book a guest and you hear no, do you ask again?
Sometimes I don't. Depends what the situation is.
But you're accusing me of going to Gary and not taking no for an answer.
I'm accusing you of.
Answer the question.
I'm going to answer the question. What I'm accusing you of, you accuse me of being unprofessional. I'm saying you're being unprofessional. Whether or not you're doing your job is one thing, and the way that you're doing it is an unprofessional manner. You yell and you scream and you act like a baby. You do it in meetings, you do it to people in the hall, and you do it in Gary's office. That is the end of my statement.
Wow.
I think Melissa's so fucking hot.
Oh, yeah.
Gary, what's between these two is
it's been brewing for a while.
No,
well,
but it hasn't with me.
Forget that it's been brewing.
That's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's not really on.
Jason, I think there's a few people behind me who love to take the shot at the mic. And
go ahead. Is anyone stopping them?
There's a lack of respect going both ways.
I think. No, honestly, I have respect. I appreciate. I like the job he does, and I think he does a good job. I think he's
but you think he acts like more than he is.
Yes.
Well, coming from the most arrogant guy in the room, I will take that.
And what's your beef with Ross? Is it that he had?
Someone just hit me on the back shoulder and just said Ross is mad at you on the wrap-up show for what you said yesterday.
No, but is it because he has a beef with you? Like, is this literally coming out of the blue?
I didn't know we had the beef. I like teasing Ross. I know Ross is a very sensitive person. I do think Ross has a lot of personality flaws. Like, he's very sensitive, and he has a big ego, and he thinks his shit doesn't stink, and he holds everything over everyone's head like he's the Graham. Last time I get you Foo Fighters tickets, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's like the Santa Claus of the office. And I think it's funny to poke holes in that persona, but I never had anything personal against Ross.
You just listed 5 things.
Well, listen, I have my own flaws, too. I know them. Doesn't
What
mean
are
I
they?
like myself.
What are your flaws?
I'm loud.
Right.
I have a horrible nasally voice.
Right.
I can definitely go too far with either making fun of people or saying things where I shouldn't say things. Yeah, I got flaws.
What about in the office? What about your professional
all those things
life?
are things I do in the office. I'm loud in the office. I talk too much. I say things I probably shouldn't say sometimes. I mean, it happens. And I'm fat. I mean, I don't know. I got lots of flaws. You're very tan. I don't know how.
Yeah, man. How are you so tan?
Wow.
Are you hitting on the personal level or the professional level?
Professional. Listen, man, I love Ross. And I know he's very busy because every Thursday through Monday you can't find him because he's in the Bahamas or Miami or... Why is everyone laughing? Everyone's laughing off, Mike.
No, I'm laughing.
Jason, you know what? If you didn't work in this environment, I don't think you'd have a job.
Well, I don't think you would either.
I've done very well in my career.
Weren't you fired?
No.
From DreamWorks? They didn't lay you off?
No, they sold the company.
Oh, that's a layoff.
No, I'll come to his defense on this one. They wanted, out of the 300 people, they only wanted to keep 3 employees, and Ross was one of them.
Oh, what happened?
He didn't want to stay.
Oh, all right, so he quit.
And they
Why not
had
just say
to
that?
sell the company.
Exactly.
See, Jason knows, Ross, you're going down a bad angle because Jason knows
how to push my buttons.
How to push everyone's buttons.
It's
and the
fine.
thing that bugs me...
At the end of the day,
the thing that bugs
at
me
the
about
end of the
Jason,
day,
and he knows
Jason's
this-
going to rub 2 nickels together and have a dime.
So
he's still here. He's still struggling. It'll be fine.
Struggling, yeah. Some struggle I'm going through. That's awesome.
I want to see where you are in 4 years when the gravy train is over for you, Jason.
I want to see where your hairline is.
I want to see where you go. What was your? I'd love to
gravy
see.
train. Hey, dude, I'm here more than you, working harder than you are, bro.
What do you? I mean, you're
gravy train. You act like I just won the lottery or something. I got this. No, first of all, I got this job. No one handed it to me. Gary knows this. I got this job out of beating out a large field of candidates and showing what a good work I've done. I've been here for 10 years. Yeah, I sucked Gary's cock. It was fine.
No, we can Jason, listen, that part's unfair. I'm coming to both your defenses on different things. He earned the position and he's good at it. We don't carry anybody around this place.
Okay. And I work hard.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to put anybody else on the spot. Is there any truth to what I said about Jason and his flaws in the office?
I think Jason. I think he should have admitted to them, though. I really do. I think what you said and what he said are the same thing. He can go over the line.
Yes.
He does puff out his chest. Listen, Jason knows that classic story about what I let him take over for me in Las Vegas for 15 minutes, and when I came back, they were going to hang him. So he knows he can be like that.
What I was going to say, but you didn't let me finish, was Jason knows how to get under your skin, but the thing that pisses me off about it, and he enjoys it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
gets off on it. And if you show him that side of you, he will attack because that's a part of his personality that I
Have you been
can't
hit in the
stand that
face
he loves.
before?
Especially a paper.
Wait. Have you ever been punched out?
Punched in the face? I don't think I've been punched in the face. I've gotten in a fight before. But especially a paper tiger like Ross is somebody who is great because he has such an inflated ego and an arrogance about himself that anytime you could just needle that a little, it's like the greatest thing in the world. That's why, even though Tim was in the wrong yesterday, it was great fucking radio because, oh no, it got under Ross's perfect fucking skin. And Tim is right. You are a ball buster. And Tim, I'm not defending what Tim did because I think that is wrong the way he took your picture in the meeting and just sent it out on an email without you knowing about it. But, I mean, he did have a point at some point. Get over it, dude. I mean, really. Yeah, see, you're gonna be angry at Tim. You're taking anger at Tim to me now because I put out one tweet yesterday saying I was enjoying the wrap-up show. Before that? What happened before the tweet?
I just told you.
Well, I missed it. What, you've been thinking this the whole time?
All
You're just
your
angry
little
at me?
bullshit. And
you
know
can't
what?
even keep an assistant, dude. This is what a horrible boss you are.
Wow.
People are just leaving you in droves. What are you on, 2 assistants in 3 years now?
How fat are you?
285 pounds.
So every day I'm going to bring a scale next to you, and we're going to start weighing you every day, and you come to my office and do attendance because you're sure that I don't show up for work.
I never said you didn't show up for work.
You're more than welcome to come to my office every day to see if I'm there, and there's going to be a scale there, and we're going to have the Jason chart,
your boss.
and we're going to watch how
work.
fat you are every day. So you want to do that with me?
No.
You can take my attendance. You're sure I don't come? You're sure I'm not here Thursday through Monday?
No, Ross, I'm not your boss. I don't really care.
No, but you're acting like it. You're taking attendance
You
from
called me unprofessional, and we got in this long argument about who's the most unprofessional.
But you're making accusations that you can't back up.
Well,
It's
you're right here, so say it. Are you not in Miami every other weekend?
No, I'm not in Miami
okay,
every
well,
other
then
weekend.
there's your side of the story. Congratulations.
And we don't have to talk about my assistant, but she decided to leave, and it wasn't because she couldn't work with me. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't listen. All I know is your assistant's leaving. Tim's got 2 assistants. They're multiplying. He can't get rid of them. They're flocking.
Tim has
I wish
really
I wasn't
thick
working
hair,
here
too.
with you. I really do. I really do.
Aw. Well, then quit, and then you could beat me up on the street if that's what you're looking
I'm
to do.
not beating you up.
Then what? If it's not about that?
You are a piece of work.
So are you. We're 2 pieces of work having a great conversation
honestly,
on the air.
I think that you'll learn.
No, okay, Ross.
Honestly,
okay.
It's fun for this environment.
And listen, in 4 years, I think, aren't you old enough to be retired? You won't know what's going on with me in 4 years. You're going to be on some beach somewhere.
All right. Hold that thought. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll try to resolve this. We'll try to talk about Dave Navarro. Try and let some tension out of the room. You're
Don't
listening
leave,
to the
Baldy.
wrap-up show on Howard 100. Howard 100.
Wow.
Seriously, come on.
No,
take a walk. I'm not going to touch you. Just come on, take a
No,
walk.
wait, a guy who just called me an asshole for 8 years is telling me to take a walk with him in the air?
Come on.
Come here.
Come take a walk. You're a big guy behind the microphone. I'm not going to hit you. You're going to have Jim Trellis. Come take a walk.
I'm not afraid of you hitting me. I just don't want to have an argument with you off the air. We'll have the argument on the air.
Raise my voice like I
To the camera come?
Just take a walk with me. I'm
No, I don't feel like it. I'm too fat to
I
walk.
promise you, I'm not going to yell and I'm not going to slam the door. Just take a walk with me. If you can sit there behind the microphone, you can give me the decency.
I'll come to your
and
office
talk-
after the break.
No,
after
I'd
the
like
show.
to talk to you right now. I have to interview somebody that's been sitting there for 20 minutes because my assistant didn't want to work for me. So come over here, Mr. Big Shot. I'm serious. I'd like to talk
I'll
to you.
talk to you in your office after the
Why
show,
would you
or I'll talk to you on
me
the air now. Because I'm in the middle of doing a
Because
radio
when
show.
You're behind the microphone. You're Mr. Big Guy.
I said I'll come talk to you in your office
You're
after
Mr.
the
Big
show.
Guy.
I'll come talk to you in the office after the show.
Talk to me right now.
No, I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
Because you're not my
so
boss and you
fucking
can't order
big
me
to talk
around.
behind a microphone. You can't talk to me. Please turn it off.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
On Monday's wrap-up show, we were following up right at the end of Howard's show where a guest who sat in met Howard and cried. And when she talked about the experience on our show, she cried again. And then we all ended up talking about the first time that we met Howard, what it's like, the presence that he has, and it's fascinating stuff.
I'm here, and I have to tell you why I'm late, because it could be funny to play this clip on the air tomorrow when they come in. The folks that were, they're just walking in now, the folks that were here that won the charity thing, the show ended, so I was taking pictures, and when the nice lady went to go stand next to Howard, she became very emotional, and she started to cry.
Really?
So we needed to get a moment for her to compose herself. I think she's about to cry now. Come on over for a second.
Right here.
You're not going to cry talking to us, trust me.
But can I just say, so the show ended and Howard said, would you like a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you said, okay. And then when I went to take the picture, you got very emotional. What happened?
He was walking towards me, and it was in my mind's eye for all these years of listening to him. I don't want to be too dramatic, but I know I am being. But it was just kind of like a vision. But he was coming towards me. Here is someone who I've listened to, and it just really got to me. It really did, because I'm not only just taken with him, but I have tremendous respect for his talent and what he stands for, and.
I could tell he was really touched by it too. So he's like I don't think Howard knew how to react. So we had to take a moment to get a little composed so we could get a decent picture. And so that's why I'm late.
Well, that's a great excuse for being late. But when you were in the studio, I mean, you were talking about a bunch of stuff. You seemed very comfortable, very at ease.
Oh, yeah.
It was just when he came close to you? Is that what it was?
Absolutely. And saw his face really close up. And just his presence was, I felt it really strong inside. Really, really strong. I mean, there's he really allows you to get that connection, not only on the radio, but boy, if you're ever in his presence for the first time, it has such an impact. And it did that to me.
Did today live up to your expectations?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just kind of shaky.
Benjy was there.
Oh, yeah. What's your first name?
Marcy.
Marcy, hey. Yeah, she started crying.
Yeah, here.
It was pretty wild.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Marcy's going to be here for the wrap-up show.
And I always wonder, it's not an uncommon thing. People cry moments of joy, I guess it was.
Absolutely.
Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your head?
That he's aside from my husband, he's really a handsome man, and he's got a lot of magnetism, and and aside from just the absolute talent that is Howard Stern, it just it really you feel very embraced in his presence. Let's just put it that way.
Now, is this a special thing, or do you cry like 5 times a day?
Oh no! I'm not a kook. I'm not a kook. But
have you ever cried for him?
Oh, absolutely.
I could see Howard being touched by this too.
He was. He really was.
It was very sweet. Yeah. But also, as a guy, you think like, is it automatic that you would have relations with Howard, sex?
If my husband didn't exist, you mean?
If your husband said, "Listen, I know this is a special dream to you, go for it."
Oh no.
I'm curious.
I'm really very square in that way and very traditional.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious to know, like, if she gets to have sex with Howard, who does he get to have sex with? He said Howard.
Well, I'm glad you got to meet him and have that moment. That's really sweet.
I guess I don't have a shot then. Right?
The first time people meet Howard, Gary, I mean, I don't think Marcy's reaction is that atypical. I mean, that you lose it.
I see it a lot. I see people get very excited, and people don't know what to do, and they're very tentative, but then sometimes people just let their emotions come out. And generally, like Marcy's husband had a story today. Everyone says, I got to tell you the first time I heard the show, and Howard's always very gracious about it. But I never get sick of seeing people's excitement for meeting Howard, I have to say.
Does Howard enjoy meeting people?
I don't know that he enjoys it, but he appreciates it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like if I said to Howard, "Hey, I'm lining up 300 people to meet you today," he'd be like, "That's the last thing in the world I want to do." But I think that the moment they just had, he really appreciates that and understands it.
Benjy, do you remember the first time you met Howard?
I don't remember for sure. I mean, I remember the first on-air thing I had.
But was that your first meeting? Because for a lot of interns, it is.
I mean, I think I've seen him in the hall. He had pointed to me, and I had some experiences with that I had talked about on the air. But I don't think I had actually formally ever met him.
How about you, Gary?
My first meeting with him was so long ago. I remember it vividly. I wrote about it in the book, but I walked into his office. Well, I take that back. I switched shifts with a guy, so I worked during Howard's show as an assistant to the traffic reporter, and I was listening to the show, and I thought it was really, really funny. And Howard had done this joke about why when you blow your nose, do you have to look and see what you blew into the napkin or the tissue before you put it away, which I thought was really funny observational humor. And he came out to go to the bathroom, and I said, "Wow, that was really funny. I always have the same thing." And he was just very nice about it. I remember him, especially having worked on the IMA show where, don't look, don't talk. Howard just seemed like a good guy.
Now, how does Howard deal with meeting people off the air here? I mean, he talked about Tim wanted to introduce John Lieberman to him after the show is over. Howard doesn't want to talk to really anybody when the show is over because he's done his day's work, and after he meditates, he wants to go home.
I think people don't fully understand because it's not heavy lifting in the sense of physical labor. But, you do a 4-hour show. It's like running a marathon. So it's almost like when the show's over, you cross the finish line, and then they bring you right into a tent where you could get to meet people, take pictures and everything, and you sort of have to decompress from what just happened for the day. So I think that's how Howard views it.
I thought the comedian Jeffrey Ross had a great line about it. He said it's like when you meet Howard, meet everyone on the show, it's like you've been a viewer of the Flintstones, and then suddenly you're on the Flintstones. Like all of a sudden, it's like all these people, you're part of it.
Well, I would say that for our show, that's probably true, because what other show do you go to? Like if even I went to the set of Seinfeld, and I knew who the main characters were, but I didn't go, oh, there's Jim the AD, and there's Joe the guy that pulls the cable, and there's JD the guy that does this. So when you come here, I guess it is more encompassing like that.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we talked about some crazy comments that Andy Dick made about Howard. They were a little on the anti-Semitic side. And then Jason and Sal came and they weighed in, and we talked about the whole thing that's going on in the office. Here's how it went.
Everything else that came up today we'll get to, but since we kicked off on the Andy Dick thing, I wonder if it's a situation where Andy in the beginning was sort of playing into the joke and trying to, joke around about it, and then it turned, because Howard didn't take it as a joke at all. His comments about, being a Jew and the Jews, the whole rap that we've heard for a number of years. But is there a point where, oh, it's a joke and oh, it's okay? I think that's a difficult line to navigate.
It is. I think Andy probably started doing it like that's his brand of humor, but it's, you can go down that road. But like Michael Richards went down that road, and now everybody thinks he's a racist. And so if you're going to go down that road, you have to understand that if you keep calling somebody a dirty, hook-nosed Jew, there's a huge part of your audience that's probably going to think you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah, and you've got a guy who used to call in with, hey, you hook-nosed Jew bastard. Like, that's how a caller would start all of his calls. But it was understood that it was a joke.
Right. It got to a point where there's an understanding.
Right. But Andy didn't seem to be there. And when you heard the clip, how did you think Howard was going to take it?
Oh, I knew how he was going to take it. And that's why when I went in during the break, he said, what page is that on? I said, Howard, if you trust me, I'd rather you do this on the air than listen to it, because I'd rather you get your real reaction. I know you're going to love it. Trust me on it.
Benjy,
I know you're going to react to it.
Is there a point where someone's joking and then all of a sudden the joke stops?
Well, I didn't think for the Michael Richards thing, I didn't think was racist. I thought it just didn't go. I think it was Michael Richards trying to be shocking, and then he was so shocked by the reaction that he started to feel guilty about it. The Andy Dick thing, I didn't see it as, I saw it as this is what, whether it's a big deal to him or not in his daily life, I thought of it, this is sort of his classification of Jews. It's like his, the way he categorizes Jews. I think he was saying it to be provocative, but I also thought it was truthful of how he feels. And, I don't even remember what your question was.
No, you answered it, because you feel that Andy was showing his true colors, because you had never heard that from him before, at least regarding Howard.
I don't know if I have or not, but Howard said something about, like, when people are drunk, that is when they're most truthful, and that I think that is true. That's like an old Latin saying. It's an old Talmudic saying, like in wine is truth. Like, when people are drunk, that's when their real selves come out.
I agree with you, and I think that with Mel Gibson, when Mel Gibson made all those anti-Semitic remarks, because he was drunk, I think that when you're drunk, I never understood that people go, oh my God, I was so drunk, I don't know what I did last night. I think when you're drunk, you do things that you wouldn't do if you were sober, but you're aware of what it is.
Now, another person on our channels who's been accused of this, not for being drunk, but for having these kinds of feelings, is Jackie. I mean, Howard's brought up repeatedly, Jackie makes a Jew comment here, a Jew comment there. Again, he thinks is in jest, but it's not taken that way.
I sort of understand, Jackie's whole rap is, I insult everybody, so why would you be mad when I insult the Jews? Except Jackie does that Jackie will go down that road sometimes when he's not telling jokes and then laugh. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Jackie cracked a joke. I have it on one of Howard's pages. I haven't played it, but it was sort of a very roundabout Howard is cheap reference. Something about that. The reason Howard moved off of Long Island is because he doesn't want to pay the tolls. And that's Jackie thinks that's funny, but I think that he's calling Howard cheap.
Steve in L.A., you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good,
Love
Steve.
the show, by the way. Hey, the anti-Semitic stuff about all Jews was not right. But you have to admit, Howard, and I've brought this up before, Howard does have a lot of Jewish people to work on the show. For example, how many Jews are in that room right now? 2 out of the 3. The new guy that they just hired on the news department, that's not an Irish last name he has. So now you have Shuli, Lisa Jew, and the new guy who took Langford's place.
Well, let's take these one at a time. Hold on, Steve. In this room right now,
look at his agent.
Steve, I'll let you talk. Steve, I'll let you talk. Hold on. In this room right now, we got 5 people. 2 are Jewish. Steve Brandano, Teddy Microphone, and Gary are not. Although 2 are Italian, which we can talk about that.
Basically the same as Jews.
As I tell everybody, for every person you hear on the air anywhere, there's 20 people behind the scenes that are making it work. So maybe it's only the people that you hear on the air, but yeah,
and those are the ones that are making a little bit of money. We only hear 3 people on the air right now, and 2 of them are Jewish. What is his limo driver? I know he wants.
He's Jewish.
He's Jewish. He is. He's a Eugene.
What about his agent?
Jewish.
Who, Roddy?
Okay, what about his buddy that he hired for promotion? Ross, what's his name?
Zapin? Jewish.
What is that?
What about Ralph?
I bet you
Jewish.
Ralph's gay. So, I mean, there's a couple homos together.
All
But
right.
you have to admit, and I don't have everybody's name down, but just one time for shits and giggles, my friends and I listening to the show, we're trying to name a Jewish guy on Howard's show and a non-Jewish guy. So we're talking maybe on the air, off the air. And, of course, you know a lot more people behind the scenes than we'll ever know. But for the most part, most of the people that are closest to Howard and work for Howard are all Jewish. Okay. Have you ever seen the end of a Spielberg movie?
Hold on a second.
Hold
on. Let me answer.
You're making a big jump there, but wait.
Not Jewish. Okay, now we're going to do the Hanukkah song backwards. I'm not Jewish. Who's close to Howard? Fred, who's a major part of the show, Robin is not Jewish. So if you go off as Sal likes to refer to the Fab Four.
The Fab 5. You're one of the Fab 5.
Well, who's the 5?
Howard, Robin. I think Benji's in that mix.
Benji's not a Fab 5.
All right, then he's out. Then one of the 4. All right, then one of the 4. One of the big 4 is Jewish. Then in the back, you got Richard, Sal, JD, Will, Steve. Are all not Jewish.
And then you and Jason are.
Yes.
That cuts its back. Tracy, who runs our office.
Jewish.
Okay, then you go into the TV show. Scott DePace. Not Jewish. Brian Phelan, not Jewish.
Goodstein.
Doug Z. Goodstein. Okay, the plot thickens.
Look, I'm not going to deny Steve.
Who's in charge of all that crew? Doug Goodstein, Silverstein, Rubenstein. It's all jewelry, my friend.
Steve, you really believe that Howard only hires Jewish people, or wants to?
A few just to make it, so people can't always tell.
Wait, let him answer the question.
I think Jewish people go out of their way for nepotism to hire their own. Have you ever seen the credits on a Steven Spielberg movie at the end?
No, I don't.
All there are
it's just two stars.
What do you mean, like the Jewish key grip?
Yeah, that's all there are. Jewish people at the end of it. Other than the grips, the cameramen, the construction, and the catering,
and the Teamsters. The Teamsters. They're usually not Jewish. The Teamsters.
All right, so you're agreeing with Andy Dick?
I don't like the anti-Semitism.
Isn't it true we got rid of Penny Crone when we found out she was Catholic?
I don't even know what
exactly.
Penny Crone was.
Yes, you're Jewish, of course. Listen to that voice. Hey, but what I'm saying is that Howard does go out of his way to probably hire Jewish people. Yes, he does.
I disagree.
Okay, I guess you guys will have to play the game that we did. It's a good drinking game.
Do you think that because the show is based out of New York, where there's a bigger Jewish community, in other words, if somebody's listening in Kansas and they go, I work at my job and I only know like 2 Jewish people, but it seems like they have a lot of Jewish people there. Do you think that's part of it?
Yeah, but who decided to base the show in New York? Howard.
And of course, Tim Sabian, the guy in charge.
Jewish, right?
Yeah. I don't think so. Oh, here's another Jew. What do you want to say, Jason?
Jew here. To give a little snapshot of what's going on in our office, I would like to say that I just left Sal and Richard's room, 2 non-Jews that are doing work right now. Will is working with Robin on her new radio show, so 2 non-Jews working there. And I walked past Fred talking to Brian Phelan in the hall. So there's a lot of non-Jewish activity going on in the halls of Howard Stern show.
Right. But I think to that guy who lives wherever he lives, it sounds like there's a ton of Jewish activity going on right here.
Well, most places outside of New York, if there's 3 Jews in a room, it's like huge. It's like a big deal. I guess that could be the way it looks. But I gotta be, I'm kind of amazed. I didn't realize there's so many callers that seem to be keeping a head count of Jews here. I had no idea this was going on outside of SFN.
Right, there's nobody calling up and going, you only have 1 Latvian.
Well, never mind. I was going to say, if any of you on the book, we have way more guys here than women. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna pick on something, why the Jewish thing?
And we only have 2 women that really work for him, yet one of them Jewish.
And one of them black. Now look how we're doing. We're doing good.
Uh-oh. Power 100 News might have a story there. Ted, let's take a break. During the break, we were talking about, have you ever been identified by your race? And Gary, you were making an interesting argument.
Well, I was saying that I've had people call me a guinea bastard, but it sort of rolls off my back. Actually, the worst thing that ever happened to me was I got into like a little minor fender bender, and the guy, I don't know what nationality he was, but he goes, I know your type. You're all a bunch of greasy motherfuckers. And I didn't know what he thought I was. I didn't know if he thought I was Italian or Hispanic or what, which is really weird, but I really felt what it was like to be, biased against me.
He just knows you're greasy.
Yes, he knew I was greasy, and he knows my kind.
He doesn't care.
But I was saying that I would imagine that, somebody calls me, oh, you stupid wop, it falls off my back. But if somebody calls you a Jew bastard, that must be worse. And we were saying, well, why is it worse? And I said, well, nobody ever killed 6 million Italians. And whatever bias there was against Italians in this country was in the early part of the century. It's sort of gone away, where anti-Semitism still lives.
And it has been around for 5,000 years. Sorry, just ask.
It's okay.
Well, hold on, Benjy. What's like the worst thing that everyone's ever said to you?
I've gotten like growing up, I would get Nazi kind of stuff.
Well, you grew up in the South too, so was that weird?
South Carolina. No, I think usually when I got it, it was, at least to my face, it was just kids trying to find anything to be like a dick to you. I didn't think it was really anti-Semitism.
What about you, John?
Yeah, at school I got it. One time I was told that.
Well, what school?
At Michigan, I was told I was the first Jew someone ever saw, and I had one guy ask me where my horns were under my
But for
hat.
real, he really...
No bullshit.
I've gotten that before. I don't think, if someone sincerely is curious about that, that's not anti-Semitism.
That's ignorance.
Yeah.
Right. But, the horns comment, yeah.
A lot of racism is based in ignorance, Gary.
That's true.
I was shocked when someone, said that I'm the first Jew they've ever seen. Look, it's how you judge people, and I think also it's got a lot it has a lot to do with the way you're brought up. And
was that the 80th blowjob asking to feel the horn?
No, it was a guy. But not only Jews were singled out today, it was only Jews and Italians work here. And
Right.
Sal, you deal with that. Were you surprised when you heard that? We were talking more about when people joke around, yet it didn't sound like Andy Dick was joking when he was sounding off there.
I don't think he was joking one bit. I think he was angry and he was showing his true colors. I think he's a hateful racist.
And you would know.
Why?
Because you know some hateful racists.
Oh, come on, Gary.
You worked at a pizza parlor. Give me a break.
Everybody knows a racist. I mean, Andy Dick was doing it in a really, really hateful manner. If we joke around, that's one thing. I mean, the show has consistently done a lot of racial humor for the past 20 years. But for him to blatantly say what he said, hook-nosed Jew, and with such anger, with such venom, it was obvious that he hates Jewish people, and it's disgusting.
I don't want to cut Sal off. He might say something stupid eventually, but
you saved my job. Thank you.
I think I get in a lot of arguments here, on the air and off the air, and usually the one thing that people dive into right away when they can't think of something funny to say is start calling me fat.
Right.
And the reason is because that's a negative connotation. You're lazy, you're unhealthy, you're disgusting, basically. So if you're arguing with somebody and they slip into the Jew thing, which to me is just like slipping into the fat thing, you're saying it because being Jewish is a negative thing. It's you're a Jew, you're a dumb Jew, you're a hook-nosed Jew. It's Jew as a horrible negative thing.
That's a very good point. And Sal, I know you kid around a lot about, I went out with my Jewish friends. I had a Jew, can you what's the difference between that and actually someone
they're Jewish?
Some of the things
that's the only difference. They're still the same.
But why do you point it out? You ever say I went out with my Lithuanian friend?
No, but my Jew friends call me the Goyim. You're the only Goyim. We went to Mateo's the other night. I'm like, hey, he's the only Goyim here. And it's funny, we're in an Italian restaurant, and we noticed that in an Italian restaurant in Nassau County, it's 90% primarily Jewish sitting down and 90% Italian serving.
John,
how do you know that, though?
Well, the topics just come up. If we're hanging out, we just discuss it.
But in all seriousness,
it's
you walk
funny.
into a restaurant, how do you know 95% of the people in the restaurant are Jewish? Were they wearing gold stars?
Trust me, where I was, they were Jewish.
It's obvious.
No, they tip very well.
John, do you ever run into, when you're talking to somebody and they tell you a story and they have to tell you that there was a black guy in the story, even though it has nothing to do with the story? I was going downstairs, the guy holding the door, black guy, and then I walked right by, and you're like, why did I need to know that?
Well, a lot of times it's whispered, too. Black guy. Yeah. Ken, you're on the wrap-up show.
I think as somebody like an Andy Dick falls into deeper and deeper irrelevance, he feels like he has to be more and more outrageous. So, I think you kind of have to shrug him off. I think the real culprit here is Fitzsimmons for tolerating it, putting up with it, and almost being an enabler of it. If he's supposed to be such a Howard fan, begging for the book thing, I mean, he's the one that should be fired.
Did Greg do anything wrong here?
Well, I think Howard was upset with Greg. There's two ways to go, meaning if Sal were doing that on our show, I wouldn't stop him because I think it's interesting tape to bring to Howard. But it might come across to the people that I agree with him. So it is a fine line. I think he let it go on a little too long.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, but if you're going to be angry at somebody in this scenario, it's definitely be angry at Andy because, listen, I'm not going to lie, it bothered me to hear Greg laughing along with those jokes as well. But at the end of the day, he's trying to put on an interesting radio show. And if some guy is going to come on his radio show and start ranting and raving about Howard Stern being a crazy Jew, you kind of let him do it, I think.
But you may not have to laugh along with it.
But you may not have to laugh along with it.
Laughing, that was wrong right there. But secondly, what is Greg Fitzsimmons? Is he
Irish?
All right, he's Irish.
You don't know Fitzsimmons is Irish? It's the most Irish name in the history of Irish.
Sal doesn't see race or color.
Okay, exactly. Thank you, Jason. But the thing is that where was a Fitzsimmons there to rebut Andy saying, hey, I got hired by a Jewish man and I'm Irish? That's the first thing that should have came through his fucking thick, freckled skull of his.
That's a good point.
He's completely wrong. He took advantage of Howard. Howard wrote the Ford. Now he's here and he's having a field day with Andy Dick talking about Jews, and he's not defending Howard, who's a Jewish man that hired this Irish idiot.
What about Gary's argument that maybe Greg was kind of trying to get stuff out of Andy?
Okay, you can goad him to a certain degree, and I understand one or two giggles, but when Fitzsimmons says Joogle instead of Google, and he's laughing about it, you don't do that. That's very disrespectful. You have to know your boundaries. He crossed the line. He should be fired.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, Robin came in and talked about a bunch of things, including her recent car accident. And then Ronnie came in and started pushing Robin's buttons, and things got pretty funny. Check it out.
Matt, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hello, huh?
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
You're on, Matt. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary, love the show. Got a quick question.
Sure.
Driving cross country last night, listening to Jackie's show, trying to stay awake. The only thing that kept me awake was yelling at the radio. He is horrible.
Who?
Jackie Martling.
And why is he horrible? What didn't you like?
And what's your question?
Okay, my question is, Robin, did you listen to Jackie's show since he added that girl?
No, I haven't heard Jackie's show recently.
The girl laughs exactly like you, only 5 times as much. And I wondered if Jackie did it intentionally, and Jackie's show can't get any ratings. It's like listening to 3 6-year-old kids with a laugh track. But the real question, Gary,
yes,
is if you brought him back when Artie left, don't you think the Stern show outgrew Jackie's talent? Seriously, it's not a joke.
I don't think the show outgrew his talent. I think the show moved to a different place. Jackie's funny in certain environments, but we became more of a let's sit down and rap and talk than a bit-oriented thing. Like, I thought Jackie really did well when they'd go back and they'd write bits, and Jackie could write these punchlines for the bits, and Jackie could write these jokes for Howard on the air. The show was a different show. So I don't think he would have fit in as well this time around.
Do you think Jackie saw any writing on the wall in that sense as the show sort of... Because the show's always evolved over the years.
I would love to tell you he did, but absolutely not.
Jackie doesn't see anything.
He did not see the writing on the... If anything, he saw it the opposite way.
Yeah,
I'm so valuable,
yeah.
They can't live without me.
Dan and Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yo, what's up, guys? I want to ask Robin if she heard that Ronnie was calling her stupid.
When did Ronnie call her stupid?
Shuli was interviewing him in the hallway, and how she forgets things, and Ronnie was exposing some things that that Robin had done, and Shuli says, "So you're saying she's stupid?" And he did, I guess he went right along with it.
So Shuli called me stupid.
Right, Shuli called Robin stupid.
And Ronnie agreed.
Said nothing, and now it becomes Ronnie called Robin stupid. That's how rumors get started.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Take care.
He's very proud of being part of a rumor.
That was a nice try, Dan. But I will follow up on it because when Ronnie did come in, I guess a couple weeks ago, he immediately went at you for some reason, and he
tends to do that.
Like,
yes.
You're the backstabber, you pile on, all that stuff. That seems to be his MO when he goes into the studio.
Absolutely.
Do you find that a lot of times that stuff goes on in the air, and for some reason, when it's a fan of the show, Howard is forgiven, but you take the brunt of the abuse?
I find that with the staff. I'm not supposed to say anything. You do it too.
I do. No, but I get mad at Howard. But I get mad
You might get mad at Howard, but you never tell him he should be quiet.
Well, you know what happened is because I'm having a conversation with Howard, then all of a sudden on the left side of my ear I hear a voice. But it's funny because we got an email a couple of weeks ago from the couple that was on the guy who dated his student.
Oh, the student.
And he sent this really long email, and he's like, Howard, you went to a place and it was weird. I should have expected that. But he's trashing the shit out of you. Robin just wouldn't relent. And I was like, well, they did the same interview.
Yeah.
So you feel like when staff comes in and they're angry at Howard, you're the one who bears the brunt of it?
Well, I think what happens is they don't want me stoking the fire anymore. And that seems to be what they think is going to happen if I'm speaking at all. Because I remember at one point I was trying to defend Sal and he started screaming at me. And I thought, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think I probably get mad when I'm having a conversation with Howard. I almost forget you're there. Then all of a sudden you're there.
Ronnie, we had a caller before saying you did some news story with Shuley and ended up calling Robin stupid.
Please, listen to me. Listen to me. When Shuley does a story, you have to be there to hear the story when he does it. Okay? Because when he cuts it up, like how Sal and Richard cut things up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily what you said.
Exactly right.
You're saying Shuley edits you to be mean?
Yeah, he does it to make me sound like an asshole all the time. Because like she loses her ID all the time. So he came to me and interviewed me about it, and I said, "Well, some people are stupid because they lose their stuff all the time." I didn't say Robin was stupid.
Okay, I believe you.
But the way he made it sound,
although that didn't sound very
Ronnie,
good, did it?
If Robin,
I didn't say she was.
Wait, if Robin loses her stuff all the time,
And people are stupid if they lose their stuff all the time.
Therefore,
I'm sorry. I said if people are stupid enough to lose their stuff all the time. I didn't say.
Here's what I got.
Wait.
This is like the quiz in high school. You ready?
Yes.
People who lose their IDs are stupid. Robin lost her ID. Therefore, Robin is stupid.
That's right.
I'm making that jump too here, Ronnie. I don't think you're expressing
Yeah, but I didn't
yourself
come
clearly.
out and say directly, Robin is stupid.
But you did.
But that's how Shuley made it
Someone
sound.
like Robin wouldn't get that, but the rest
Yeah,
of us
the rest of you guys got it, right?
Please, now stop it. I didn't say... and I kept saying to Shuley, don't turn it around that way. And he kept saying, don't worry, Ronnie. You know me. I don't do anything like that. And every time he does it.
So what do you
Doesn't seem like he had to do much turning.
Oh, stop it.
So what do you think?
Well, I can't help if you always lose your ID.
Well, I was going to
And you fit into the category...
I don't always lose my ID. Sometimes I don't bring it in. I just lost my ID and
How many
found
times?
it. I told you I've only had.
She has a collection of them at
No,
home.
this is my third replacement. And
That's
how
all.
many years have we been here?
Ronnie, not
hello. This is my original one from the day we walked in here.
So you're brilliant.
That's right.
Ronnie, not Robin, but in general, do you think that indicates unintelligence if someone loses IDs?
Please stop it, Benjy, with your stuff.
Well, do you?
I won't answer your questions.
Why not?
I'm sorry.
Gary, can you ask him that?
Ronnie, do you think that losing an ID indicates that somebody's stupid?
No, they're very forgetful.
See?
And that's what I said
Are-
to Shuley, basically.
So do you think?
Are forgetful people stupid?
No.
But some stupid people are forgetful.
Okay.
Right.
Do you think Robin's absent-minded?
She's getting to be a little magooey.
How would you define magooey?
I know what he means.
I do too.
A little Mr. Magooey, you know. like the light bulb doesn't always light up when it's supposed to.
Oh my goodness! That is amazing. Okay, thank you,
Magooey.
Thank you.
Here, I'm going to do a quick test. Ronnie, Robin, give you both a question, see who can answer it first. 9 times 4.
36.
He's got it. I'm Magooey.
When did you realize you were going magooey? Was it the accident or something else that affected you?
What? The accident?
Well, I know you had the car accident.
But I lost my ID before the accident.
Oh, okay.
Hey, did they catch the guy?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, somebody sent me what I think is his mugshot today.
Oh, dear.
It was very scary looking.
He was scary looking that day.
Did they arrest him? They arrested him and everything?
I know he got citations. I don't know the details.
Hey, so when it happened, it was he didn't stop at all. He completely went off.
No, he did a 360-degree turn. The car stopped, and then he drove into me. And then he backed up and ran away.
Did you think the driving in part was intentional, or was that part of a complete...
It seemed to me that he was just out of his mind. You know, once his car stopped, he just stepped on the gas.
Wow.
So in other words, he lost control of his car, and then when he came out of the spin, He just hit the gas and smashed right into you.
Yeah.
Perhaps he was stupid.
Or drunk.
Or forgetful. We don't know.
But the fear,
or McGooey.
But the theory that was floated, which turned out to be unfair, was, oh, Robin, how many speeding tickets do you have? It seemed like people were assuming you were at fault before you got to tell the story. But I guess that's what it's like working on the show.
That's right.
You're always wrong.
Testify
no matter what.
Do you think?
All right, we're all guilty of making each other wrong. Let's cut the crap.
I have no idea if I'll have to testify. Don't know if there'll be a trial.
Another clip that Howard played late in the show was the woman who was a guest here who ended up crying at the end of the show and then cried for the entire wrap-up show, basically.
That must have been fun.
How awkward was it for Howard when that was going on? And do you feel like Howard could sort of lead that religion, and a lot of people feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this has been going on for years. Remember Uzo, the first girl who
she's nuts.
Ever did that? She came to the book signing and she just lost it. She turned into a heap of tears on the floor.
And let's be honest, even though they're not the most normal people, isn't the Whack Pack in essence the apostles? If Howard wanted to form a religion, wouldn't they be the first ones?
They'd be there all the time.
Yeah, they'd be the first ones there.
Sal?
Sure. I think.
Remember, he graduated.
Yeah, but I think if Howard was leading the charge, he'd still be part of it.
And that makes Howard feel very uncomfortable, or does he appreciate the way the people feel?
Both.
I think he appreciates it.
But it made him uncomfortable when he came face to face with it.
I didn't see her approach him yesterday, so I don't know exactly what happened there.
It was funny. The show ended, and they were. Somebody had a camera. So Howard very nicely said, "Would you like to take a picture?" And they go, "Oh yes." And when he started to walk to her, she broke down, and I could tell Howard was like, "Oh, that's okay," and he didn't know whether to hug her or what to do.
To do.
Maybe I just walked away. No, I just said, "Here, take a moment."
Mm-hmm.
But he was uncomfortable.
Donna in New York, you're on the wrap-up show.
Oh my God! Hi.
Hi.
Robin, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, Robin. I love you. Baba Booey, I love you.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you, talking about people worship. Robin, I got a cat at the pound. She's all black, and her name is Robin Ophelia Quivers. And we call her Ophelia. She's black, and she's beautiful, and we love her. And she's very smart. So I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I love you guys. I listen to you guys all the time. I'm in my office right now. I'm so afraid my boss is going to walk in. But I'm so happy that I got through, and thanks for talking to me.
All right, well, thank you for calling in, Donna.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So there you go, Robin. A cat named after...
That's the second cat.
The second?
Yes, that I've had named after me.
And it was all black.
Yes. And that was the same in the first case.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, John Lieberman, the new news guy, came in, and we had a discussion of who was better looking, me or John or I. And I think I'm pretty good looking. I think he's fine looking too. Check it out.
Benjy almost had Howard convinced that he was good looking, but Howard said that that's not true. And Robin did say that she liked Benjy's parts, but not Benjy as a whole. And that came from Benjy getting into it with John Lieberman about who's a better looking guy.
Oh, I didn't start that with John. He brought it up to me that, like, he was asking me about my looks because a Facebook posting I did. And I just said, I noticed we kind of looked alike, and I said it to him. And I didn't mean it as an insult. I meant it as a compliment. I thought we had some similarity. And he seemed to, he said he was significantly notches above me look-wise.
Now, we're going to talk... Did he say that significantly notches above you?
No, that's not a quote. But I think he said I would... I forget. Like, he gave me a number. I was like a 6, and he was like a 9 or something like that. I don't remember the exact number.
I was going to say, because he's not a 9.
It was at least... Huh?
He's not a 9.
What do you think he is?
I don't know, but a 9 is like, I would assume, if we were talking chicks, a 9 is a pretty hot chick.
All right, he might not have said 9. He might have said 8, and I don't remember. What do you think I am?
Hold on,
5.
Well, we're gonna hold on, Jace. We're gonna get into
2, so don't worry about
we're gonna get into Jack Osborne, and we're gonna talk about Howard's getting organized mantra, which he announced to Robin and really the whole audience. But Benjy, we're gonna dig in here. My question to you is, who works here that you think on the regular main staff that you think is better looking than you are? And be honest.
Yeah, I will be. But I'm not and I know you guys always say this is not fair. I'm not including my weight and stuff like that. I'm saying
you got to take the whole package into account.
No, I'm not going to do that.
But your face is heavy. No offense. So you have to take that into account.
I'm going to say at my. I'm not. I'm just not.
No, now it's about today.
I'm still saying this as today. I'm not saying in the best shape or anything.
But you have to take into account if somebody walked in today and saw you or Teddy, who would they say is better looking?
Slightly. God, I don't know. You know, Teddy might win, but he doesn't have a great chin.
Wait, let's get back to my Benjy. Let's get back to my question.
We're about this. Teddy and I are about even.
Benjy,
can I borrow one of your 15 chin?
Benjy, who here on the main staff is better looking than you are?
Jared would be considered.
Go out on a limb.
Forget the pink tie. The pink tie category is a whole separate thing. Who else?
I don't look at you as very good looking.
Okay,
but you do have the height, and girls do seem to think you're good looking from what you say.
You're not answering my question.
Don't break it down.
By my eyes, I don't see Will as better looking than me, but girls go crazy.
Again,
about him.
maybe you are answering my question. I don't think you think anyone here is better looking than you.
I told you, I think Jared is.
Besides Jared.
I mean, no one's jumping to my mind.
Okay, and would anyone here agree with that assessment, Gary?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't even know how. I'm not sure how to deal with it. But I don't think Benjy. This is what I can't say. Which guy is good looking? Which guy is good looking? I will tell you this: Benjy does not jump out of this pool of people to be one of the better looking guys.
But see, this is a ridiculous conversation. I'm going to tell you why. Because I was thinking to myself, like, maybe we should have a pageant on the air. We'll bring some girls in. But Benjy says that what a girl finds attractive isn't what he's counting as attractive, because he's saying girls find Will attractive, but I think I'm more attractive than him.
I'm saying if I didn't know like the opinions of girls, I used to feel bad for Will. I was like, you're such a nice guy. I'm sorry, things will. I didn't know that girls liked him. I'm just saying the way I thought he was not. I thought he was kind of boring.
So you concede that
I didn't know like Tom C. When we used to work with Tom C. I would have thought he's kind of boring looking. Girls went crazy for him.
But here's the funny thing. Benji's one of those guys that will say, you bring in a panel of girls and they would say they don't think he's good looking. He goes, no, you're doing it wrong.
When we all brought in our photos and it had,
yeah.
I got voted the best looking.
He would
you
go,
don't remember that?
Hold on a second. He would go, imagine me thinner, imagine me without blotches on my face, and imagine me not sweating. And now what do you think?
I think everybody, maybe with the exception of Jason, I think everybody has an inflated view of how good looking they are. I really do. I think yours is very inflated. Maybe you said John considers himself a 9.
Can I clarify one thing, though?
You called yourself a 9, John?
I don't think John's bad. I think John's like a nice look and everything. I actually think I'm better looking than John.
Yeah, I know that. Let me
I just seem irritated by
Let me point this out, though. This whole thing started when we did a piece that Benjy started censoring the photos of him that were tagged on Facebook. He sent out a note to all of his Facebook followers that said, I'm going to start untagging me from certain photos.
Wait, John, do you have
basically
Facebook?
censoring his image that he wants out there.
Fucking thing. I'm going to fight back this. Do you have a Facebook account?
Of course I do.
Is it and has anyone ever tagged a photo and you didn't? Oh, I don't like that photo. I don't want it on my page, so you untag it.
Yeah, but I don't untag it.
That would be wrong to untag a photo of you.
Did I say it was wrong? I just said you've launched a censoring campaign. You're censoring all of your images.
That's a censoring campaign?
Yeah, you're censoring your images.
Do you guys think it's a censoring campaign?
I will tell you, I don't know whether it's a censoring campaign. I've never, ever, ever untagged a photo.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm just saying I haven't done it.
Thank you.
I don't.
Gary, I will put some up of you and you'll take them down.
I'm just saying I don't have it. Listen, there's pictures of me as a monkey. What the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to look at every picture everybody
You guys are being the biggest fucking liars.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
It's photos. When someone tags your photo on Facebook, it becomes like in your album. There's no way to not be tagged and not be in the album.
Okay.
So if you don't want a photo,
are they pictures of you looking like an asshole, or pictures of you that you just don't think you look good enough that day?
Pictures I don't like. Is
it a vain thing?
You could call that censoring. That's fine. I don't give. But to make it, I had. To want to put your best photos up, that's wrong.
I don't think about it enough.
Anything. Gary, you didn't pick. Did you pick photos for your book and reject some?
There's a difference.
Did you reject some of the photos?
No, because I didn't reject. I didn't. First of all, obviously, if you saw the cover, you would see I rejected nothing.
Wait, no. Did you reject some photos?
No, because I picked the pictures.
So every photo would.
Benjy,
I'm picking the pictures too for my Facebook.
Stop yelling for a second.
You censored people, Gary. You were censoring photos from your book.
Shut the fuck up for a second.
You were censoring photos.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're involved in censorship. I'm saying that I am not vain enough to go through my Facebook photos and get rid of ones I don't want. That's all I'm saying.
If that is considered vanity, fine. Yes, I have vanity. I would like to look my best. That to say that you don't pick photos sometimes, Gary. I don't believe it.
Hey, Benji.
I don't believe sometimes you try to pick a photo where you look good over one where you look bad.
On Facebook, I just don't seem to care.
Benji, when you get angry, your eyes really sparkle. They really do. I'm seeing a different side of you.
You're not trying to get laid on Facebook.
Well, you're not either. You're on Craigslist.
The problem was now I think everyone's going to go on Facebook and try and tag every picture of Benji, including disgusting pictures of naked people.
Benji makes a good point.
Now you can't control
Benji's
it.
using Facebook in a different way than I'm using it. So maybe because he wants it. John, have you ever untagged a photo of yourself on Facebook?
No.
We're not crazy.
And there are photos up there that I don't like, but
and you feel it'd be wrong to untag yourself from
This is
it?
not worth it.
Nobody's saying it's wrong.
Well, when you said the word censor, to use the word censor,
I said you had launched an image campaign, which is true. You launched a campaign to control your image.
Yeah, John, did you pick tapes that you submitted to the show? Did you pick certain
Well, they hired me off the street. That's another thing.
Did you submit tapes?
Yeah, of course.
You didn't give him every fucking tape?
No, but
you
they can
censored.
find-
You tried to control the image. That is fucked up.
No, because if they Google me, they'll find a whole bunch of clips of me, millions.
But you submitted ones that you liked.
Why?
It's a different issue.
How's it a different issue? You're trying to control your image. You're trying to present a lie.
Well, Benji, using your example there, then what you'd be saying is that you choose the images you put on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to choose the images that everybody else puts up on their Facebook page.
There's no way to do it, Jace.
No, I'm just saying, but
Facebook
I'm
doesn't
using
have
your analogy, that's all.
Wait, no. Facebook does not. If your name is tagged in a photo,
Yeah, I agree with you,
it's
by the
on
way.
your page.
I'm on Benji's team with this one.
But here's what I would say about that. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just telling you my point of view. I went out and did the book tour, and I took a lot of pictures with people who put them up on Facebook and tagged me. Do I think I look good in all those pictures? No. I don't think I look good in most of them. But is it worth it for me to spend the time to untag myself? It's not.
It's first of all, it takes a second.
It's more than a second. It's
really. Let's time you do it.
It's a second to do one, but you're clearly involved in more than one.
Hold on.
Wait. This major fucking part of my life.
You made the point about Facebook, okay? But here's the difference, okay? I think when Gary looks at a photo of himself on Facebook, his mentality is not because he's married, but his mentality is different than yours is.
I don't believe you guys. I don't believe you guys. Maybe
Benji,
you're true.
You care more about that.
I
don't think
it's
Benji,
true.
You put your head at a certain angle for accepted pictures. Like
I think you guys. Oh, John, you're wearing a button-down shirt. What's the conspiracy there? Why are you doing that?
Benji, you can't just make shit up and
look at his shirt. It's button down. Why are you wearing a button down shirt?
But I think all John.
Why'd you start wearing button down shirts?
There was a stain on my T-shirt, and I decided to wear a button down.
And why'd you start wearing button downs on a regular basis?
Just because I thought it was time for a change.
Just purely change. It wasn't like, oh, maybe this looks better.
That's probably part of it.
Wow.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
You're trying to control your image there, John.
No, that's...
you're going down a weird road.
Yeah, no one's buying the shirts for me.
To pick photos you like, to say it's like this, to make his thing about it.
I'm saying you care more about it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Saying
and you do.
No.
I don't think there's any...
That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I would like to look nice.
But you care more than most men.
I do not know. Gary... Here, you know what? I'm gonna.
It's not even a dig.
Do you wear height things in your shoes?
No, of course not.
You don't?
No.
Sometimes you're like 4 inches taller than other days.
Benji, if you can't just make shit up and make it true, it's
I'm not. I'm asking you.
I've never, on the life
up.
of my children, I've never worn anything to make me look tall.
Gary ever walked into work?
Never noticed that sometimes Gary is like 3 inches taller than you, sometimes he's shorter than you.
If Gary ever walked into work 4 inches taller than normal, I'd freak out.
Has anybody ever noticed that I've looked taller some days?
No. Well, stand up. Stand up then.
I did.
Okay, we're head to head. Now take your shoe. We'll both take our shoes off. I bet you're significantly taller.
We're on the radio.
Yeah,
I
this
can't
is too
indulge in your
visual.
I don't believe it.
Benji, you're getting too defensive about this.
Very defensive.
Okay, look, it's okay to care more about photos on Facebook than other people do. I mean, that's all right.
Yeah, I think that's the point we're making.
That's it. That's the
all
point.
I have.
And John, you gave yourself a 9 as compared to Benji. Let's talk about that.
Newsroom 9.
Yeah, I mean, it was a spur of the moment thing. We were joking, and Benji actually brought it up first. He said, "You're a good-looking guy." I said, "Thank you, Benji. You're a good-looking guy too." And then he said, "I think you said, what would I rate you, right?"
No. Well, I noticed we we don't look.
Oh,
like
you said
have
we
some
looked
slender-
alike.
we
Yeah,
have-
he said we look alike, and I'm like, Benji, I really don't think we look alike. And he said, no, we really do.
Dude,
we
I
do.
actually have a better face than you, but we do have similarities.
I'm staring at
What
both
are
of
our
you.
similarities?
No, I'm just saying, like, if a stranger, if of another race looked at us.
How do you know that?
Because I'm
Of
looking at
another
him and I can
race?
see, yes. Because it's harder to tell, to distinguish when you're of a different race. If a stranger of another race looked at us, we'd have some similarities to us.
So, like, if a Nigerian
I am
prince was
utterly
here.
confused.
I had some experience over the weekend. The guy who hired me here at Sirius Satellite Radio, Leon Black, it was his 60th birthday.
Uh-huh.
I got invited to his birthday party at his house. So, I mean, Leon throws some good parties because Leon's worth like $20 gazillion, like $20 billion or something crazy.
Yeah.
And for him, you know, $1 billion is like $10 to us.
It's like pocket change.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
He carries that around with him.
he's like, hey, you're only worth $1 billion. But he's a real nice guy. Always liked this guy. He's real down to earth, and even though he makes a ton of dough, like his whole thing is he buys art. That's why he works. He once said to me, he sat me down and said, you know why I work? He says, I don't have to work anymore, but I like to buy art. And when you talk about art, he likes to buy Michelangelo's, Leonardo da Vinci's.
He buys originals
Yeah.
and the best ones around.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff, and he's just a nice guy, down-to-earth guy. He's not an asshole. You know, guys who have that kind of money, but he's self-made. That's why he's not an asshole, because he actually had to go out and work for it. He's just a real bright guy. I like him. He's a real family man. His kids are, like, delightful. Like, it's almost annoying how delightful they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're perfect kids. Like, they got up to make speeches at the birthday party about their dad. You were like, whoa. Wish I could talk like that. His kids have a vocabulary.
They probably got good educations
Yeah.
because he had money.
Yeah. Oh,
Went
yeah.
to those top schools.
But you know, like a lot of kids of the rich, they go to top schools and they come out stupid.
Right.
These kids, they're impressive. Each one
They
is...
actually did something with that education.
Yeah, and I actually feel good, like they might contribute to the world in some way and do something important or, you know, something meaningful for other people. I mean, they just seem to be, like, I'm talking to one of the kids and I go, what are you doing this summer? He goes, oh, I'm in Harlem 5 days a week teaching children how to read. And I go, whoa,
Well, you know, in the defense
Really?
of many, many rich people's kids, we only know about the bad ones because
Right.
they get themselves on television.
Yeah, well,
Maybe there are plenty of rich people's kids out there who are
Leon
doing
Black's
good
kids
things.
are really something to see.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed as I was stuffing my face with free food. Hey, I'm hungry. It's funny because I'm famous, you know, when I go to a party, it's impossible to eat.
Because people are talking to you?
Yeah, and so I want to get the food, and as I'm so beloved that literally when I try to walk to the buffet, people will stop me and go, hey, Howard, and I'm like, so I go, I just want to get to that buffet and get some food and sit down and have no one bother me, and it's impossible.
You know, Scott found that.
Same thing happens to me.
When he was doing those, whatever those shows were,
Meet
the
and greets.
Ronnie Block Party,
Yeah.
he was supposed to do a meet and greet,
Yeah.
All I
and
need
he
is a
hadn't
little
eaten
downtime.
yet.
Yeah.
And he was like, can't I get something to eat before I greet?
Scott and I have a lot in common.
I need to nourish myself and gather my thoughts.
So,
He feels your pain.
yeah. Yeah, well, Leon's kids, one of the kids got up and read a poem to his father. You know, and I was like, I'm embarrassed. I don't even understand the poem.
Did he write it? Was
Yeah.
it something he wrote?
Oh, yeah. No, they're not like the Kennedy kids who
They get other people's poems?
yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that What was the funeral?
It was Jackie Onassis's funeral.
Yeah, the kids read stuff that Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg read from a book of poetry.
And I think John did too.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, kids.
Did you know your mother?
Maybe I'll introduce you to the Leon Black children because, you know what? They know how to write original fucking poetry. You're Kennedys. Can't you fucking sit down and write an original poem to your mom? But each kid, like, kind of spontaneously got up and, like, didn't make, like, a 3-second speech.
How many kids does he have?
4.
Uh-huh.
And he had 3 boys and a girl. And each one made, like, these lovely speeches.
So they like their dad.
Yeah, they worship him. They're like, Dad, you inspire us. Dad, you're like the most amazing guy. Dad. I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome. These kids really know how to go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish I was Leon Black's child.
Oh, God.
I do. He'd be a great dad. And my parents called me.
Hello, Howard.
Yes, Mom.
Listen, something terrible has happened. There's water in our basement.
Yeah, so what are you calling me for?
Do you know of someone who could help us?
Yeah, it's called a plumber. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, you have good people. We're thinking of calling one of your people. And
I go, all right, listen. I have a 5-point plan for you. I go, how bad's the water coming in?
well, we bucket it out, but this is continually happening. And
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on a phone.
what?
A phone.
Yes.
My mom's getting so hard of hearing. So, at one point during this conversation, I go, Mom?
Yes.
I'm going to call someone.
Yes.
And I'm going to call...
Oh, God. What?
I'm going to call someone.
What?
I'm going to call someone, and they are going to call you after I speak with them.
What?
Oh, no.
I said...
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yelling at you. I want you to hear me.
You don't have to yell. What do you want? Are you on a cell phone?
Yes.
That's why I can't hear
you. Mom, I've lined up someone to call you.
I know that. Why are you calling me back?
I'm calling you to say that they're going to call you, and then I want you to keep me in the loop.
What?
Keep me in the loop.
I should call you? I thought you said someone's calling me.
I said after they call you to call me to keep me in the loop so I know that it got done.
Why are you yelling again?
I'm yelling because you can't hear me.
You're on a cell phone.
You're going to have to get him one of those phones that types out what you're saying.
Oh, my God. I just said, I'm going to call Beth, and I want her to take care of this. I felt like a baby that needed to be taken care of. I want someone just to take care of all my obligations so I'm free to create. I don't want to be bothered.
But they have these phones that type out what you're saying so they can read it.
I need that. I need that. Where do I buy that?
I don't know. I
can't even put
TV.
I go, Mom, so the guy's going to call you tomorrow.
Do you know what time?
I said, Ma, I don't know. He's doing me a favor. This is my good friend John Keane, by the way, who is a gentleman. I called him because he's a contract. He's the best. If you ever need to build something, John Keane's your guy. Thank you, John. I love you. God bless you for helping me. Because, when my parents call with these things, I don't know who to call. I call John Keane.
Do you know what time the gentleman will call us?
I go, look, he's doing me a favor. I don't know.
I guess we can't go to the gym then.
That's right.
My goodness.
Because, Mom, most people would leave you a message on an answering machine, but you won't get one.
Well, we don't want an answering machine.
If you had an answering machine, the gentleman could leave you a message. You wouldn't have to sit by the phone.
That's all right. Your father and I will sit by the phone. We're not going to go anywhere.
They don't have cell phones?
No. I got them one, and it sits in their car in case of emergency.
We'll use it for emergency.
It hasn't been used ever.
Well, isn't it an emergency to get the call from the guy who's going to get the water out of their basement?
If they used a cell phone, they could just, there would be voicemail on it.
Right.
They could go anywhere they want. They'd be complete. But no, they're going to sit fucking waiting for someone to help them. What am I going to do? I even wanted to say to John, what time will the guy call? But I said that's not my problem.
Yeah.
I can't get caught up in that.
Because then everybody's like, well, what time can you call?
Yeah,
and that's
I'm not
50
getting
more calls.
You want to fucking join the rest of America? Get an answering machine. It ain't that difficult
to get them a time.
Yeah, I said sit by your phone and wait for the call. That's what other people have voicemail and email. I try to get them a computer.
We don't want that.
What? Do you want fire?
We don't want fire. It's too advanced.
The wheel. We reject that.
No, they only want things that have been invented in the time when they were, like
what is a wheel?
A wheel. You can put a car on it and it drives, or a bicycle.
We don't want that. We don't want a wheel. It's bad.
Oh my God! So it's like I get all stressed out. I want to be Leon Black's kid. Because Leon gets things done.
So you can be inspired.
Yeah. And guess what? If Leon Black gets water in his basement?
He doesn't call you.
No, he didn't call anybody.
What?
Then she accused me of yelling at her. I go, I'm trying to be heard.
Oh my goodness!
If you had an answering machine, you could go to the gym.
What?
No, they're living in the dark ages where you have to stay by the phone in case it rings.
My parents right now, and then I'm going to get a call like at 10 o'clock.
Howard, no one has called us.
I even said to my mother on the phone, I said, Mom, John's doing me a favor. He's an incredibly busy man. I don't know when he's going to call you. So you're going to have to sit by the phone all day.
Do you think he'll call in the morning?
Maybe he should send a telegram.
So I go, I don't know when they're going to call. I don't know.
Let's keep rolling back the clock.
And I said, and there's even a chance he might not call at all. He might forget.
And you'll have sat there all day.
Right.
That's all right.
I said that only because I don't want to get the call.
Hello? Who is this?
That's in the answering machine.
Howard called me. The gentleman never called us.
What?
So they will leave you messages if your voicemail clicks over.
Yeah, but they go,
hello, Howard. This is your mom. This is your mother.
I know who it is. She's still confused by my answering me. She hates it.
My mother signs off of voicemail like it's a letter. She leaves her message, and then at the end of the message, she goes, Mother.
Right.
Like, I won't know who it is.
So what happens when you get older? Do you just lose it? I mean, do you get scared of everything?
I don't know. Yeah, because, she has a cell phone. She still won't use it.
Right. Will I ever get like that? I hope not. I hope I'll be open to new things.
Is there technology now that you won't use?
I don't know. I seem to be into everything. I purposely force myself.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm on my computer day and night. I'm on the internet. I'm downloading from iTunes. I'm trying to stay youthful and open to new ideas. You know what I mean? I don't want to get to the point where I won't have whatever the equivalent of the answering machine is.
Right. And you've gone with the smartphone. You're not on the flip phone.
Right. Yeah. They won't get on anything that was invented after they turned 60. You know what I mean? It's like it just doesn't exist.
Yeah. And they're still with the VCR, or did they get
VCR. They will not let me in their house to put in a TiVo. It's not like I'm not trying. And I even say to my mom, my mother goes,
we love the pictures of Beth and Hampton's magazine. Terrific.
I go, thanks, Mom. I have a whole bunch more, and I'd be able to send them to you if you had email.
Uh-huh.
Like instantly.
Right.
Like you could have them
you could look at them right now.
While we're on the phone, we could be looking at them.
Oh, that's terrific. Oh, yeah.
Do you want that?
We don't want that.
She had an old friend. She wanted to look up, see if they were still alive. At her age, it's like, is anybody still alive?
Yeah, you're looking for if they're alive.
So I go to my mother. You want to know if they're still around? I said, oh, that's easy. I'll Google them. I go,
You're going to do that now?
I go, yeah. And I bring down the computer, and it's like, it's like in Planet, what do you call it, 2001?
Yeah, the
right, yeah.
Space Odyssey.
What's that?
It's a computer. Look how small it is. It's America. So I get on and I look up their friend on the internet in 2 seconds, and I see blah 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 is there. Oh my God! And there's even a picture of the person, like like Facebook.
Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that! Who would believe this?
I go.
Who would believe it?
Yeah. I go, Dad, you could have this.
Who would believe it?
This isn't a science fiction movie.
Everybody's doing it. There's no belief necessary.
It's witchcraft.
Look at this. They got the name right there. My goodness.
Thank God movies were invented before they got old.
Howard knows. They're alive. They live. Howard knows. They think I'm a genius.
So are they going to contact this person, or do they... I mean, wouldn't that inspire you to get the
my mother,
email and Facebook and all that?
I go, Mom, I'm going to get the address and phone number for you. And I go on and I'm researching and I get the address and phone number. I get it. I call her and I thought, and I was glad because my mom's going to reach out to someone because she never does.
Uh-huh.
And I go, Mom.
Yes?
I got the number for, so-and-so.
You did?
Yes. And I have their email. Since you don't have email, would you like me to contact their daughter and tell them that you're thinking of them?
Would you do that?
Yes. And I'll get their address.
You're gonna get that?
Yes. Do you want to write them?
I don't think so.
I go, what? Well, why did I just go through all this?
Well, I just wanted to know if they were alive.
Oh, my goodness.
But
after all that.
So I managed to get the email. I got in touch with them, and my mother never got in touch with them anyway. And so now these people are waiting for my mother to get in touch.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's a trip. It's like crazy. So anyway,
you get the parents you get. You can't always have Leon Black.
Well, listen, Leon. I just wanted Leon to cuddle me and go.
Yeah, you wanted to cry on his shoulder.
Leon, please,
be my dad.
End my misery. Come on, Dad. So Leon turned 60, and Leon's the guy I told you who hired me here at Sirius Satellite Radio, and just a lovely guy. He's the guy who sat me down. He said, I got this thing that says Sirius Satellite. I go, I'm well aware of it. He goes, how many? He goes, we only have 60 subscribers or something. And he goes, how many radios do you think you could sell? I go, listen, I'm not going to guarantee you anything. I said, but I would imagine, and maybe I'm crazy, if we sign on with you, you will be beating XM. He goes, well, I like to hear that. He goes, really? I go, yeah. He goes, okay. He goes, you see that? That's a Picasso. I goes, he said, you're the Picasso of radio. You're the Rembrandt. You're the Michelangelo. I got to have you. That's it. And then he made a decision, and he got me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, he was nice enough to invite me to his birthday party, and I showed up. And I had the most spectacular night.
Really?
Robin?
What happened? You had fun at a party?
Well, listen to this.
That's impossible.
Well, first of all, I saw a lot of nice people there. I ran into the great owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft, whose wife died 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I had a very emotional conversation with him. It was very, this is another guy. He is so emotionally connected to his wife. His wife, 48 years. His family, his kids.
Yeah.
He's such a devoted guy. And, everyone in New England, how often do they love the owner of a team? Everyone loves this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why. He's a down-to-earth, spectacular guy. And he was talking to me about his wife. And I got goosebumps. I was sitting there. I couldn't believe what a tremendous guy he is. I hate guys for the most part. Guys are such assholes, myself included, guys. And I mean, when I meet a guy who's so together and emotionally connected and can love a woman and can love his family the way he does, I respect him. I respect him, not because he owns the New England Patriots. I don't care about that. I mean, yes, that's a wonderful accomplishment. But he's just a gentleman. He's not an asshole. Another guy who's got to be self-made. I got to just figure.
I don't know.
He's got
Don't know
it.
his history.
He's too great. Robert Kraft. And I offered my condolences, of course, on the loss of his wife. And he's pretty shook up. He's in pretty bad shape over it.
Well, after 48 years, you lose a partner.
He said she's the most wonderful woman I've ever met in the world. And I lost my best friend. I started to cry. It was so sad. And I know how he feels because, you know, I feel that way about Beth and people in my life and my parents. And I do feel this way. And to see this guy so together, even though he's grieved, to see that he can grieve.
That's a put-together person. He can grieve.
Yeah.
He can have extended himself to the point that someone becomes so important to him. It's a loss he feels deeply.
And what else was spectacular about it? I go to these parties. You never have a real conversation with anyone because it's my problem. I disconnect immediately, you know, because it's just loud and I'm a narcissist and I'm consumed with myself and everything else. But I had a real conversation with Bob Kraft, like not a 2-second, how you doing, everything okay, goodbye. Even though I was trying to make my way to the buffet. But when I saw him, I
He was
didn't mind.
another one who blocked you from the food.
Yeah. I even got to speak with Mayor Bloomberg, Mike Bloomberg, yeah. I said, you're such a great mayor. How the fuck do you, I said fuck to the mayor.
I think he can handle
Yeah, I said, how the hell do you handle all the negativity around you? And he had an interesting answer. He says, it comes with the job. I said, yeah, but I said, you could not.
You don't get angry.
You don't even need to be doing this job. This guy's one of the wealthiest guys in the world.
He could be sitting at home picking his teeth.
Yeah. Everybody at this party seemed to have a couple of billion. I mean, really.
Well, billionaires, I guess, hang out with other billionaires.
They do. I was like, wow. Well, who's
a club.
Who's the one part of this jigsaw puzzle doesn't fit in? Wow, look at this group. Someone handed me their glass for a refresher. But, anyway, so, I met a lot of interesting people at the party. Yeah, I mean, but I made my way to the buffet. I didn't realize that was the dinner. I thought maybe it was a bigger dinner coming, so I didn't eat that much. But anyway, all right,
you
that's
were confused.
And I started being angry, and Beth had to calm me down. I saw Scott Greenstein there, and he was with Little Steven.
Oh.
Little Steven's like Scott Greenstein's wife. I'm telling
really?
you. Yeah,
They're
walk
dating?
around. They walk around holding hands. But
lovely couple.
Lovely couple. I think Scott's the woman, though. Little Steven's the man. I don't know. But so I ran into a lot of people. It was very nice. A lot of people were very friendly. But anyway, so after I eat the buffet, one of the kids goes, "Hey, can I direct you over to the the living room over here?" So we go into the living room. The kids make a couple of beautiful speeches, and then Leon goes, "Listen, I've always been a fan of art and this and that, and one of our greatest artists is Sir Elton John." And who walks out? Sir Elton John, and performs not like 2 or 3 songs. He obviously was hired to do an entire full concert. Every fucking hit the guy ever wrote. Elton John sits down at a piano
and performs.
And I'm like, well, first of all, you're sitting in a living room, so I'm on a couch.
Yeah.
And I had the best seat because I walked in, I saw a piano. I said, you know me, I'm early. I got one. I said, I'm going
to get a good seat.
I'm going to pick the best fucking seat in the place. I pick a seat on the couch. I'm in direct view of Elton John or whoever's going to be playing the piano at that point. I don't know.
You don't know.
And I can see the keyboard, so I go, this is good. Whoever's going to be here it's going to be good. And I got in that room. I sat on that couch for an hour like a plant.
By yourself?
Because I with Beth, because I wanted a good seat.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I was practically on the fucking bench with Elton John. So I'm sitting there waiting. Just as the concert's going to start, some billionaire, I assume he's a billionaire, old guy, and his Altacaca wife They pull up 2 stools. And they sit there
in front of
right
you?
in front of us. I said to Beth, I'm going to go tap this fucking guy on the shoulder and kick his fucking... Beth goes, you're at a birthday party for Leon. You got to just relax.
You should have thought of stools.
I go, but honey, I want to knock him off his stool. She goes, shh, be quiet. I said, I had the best seat. I sat here for an hour. He's on a stool, and his wife had a beehive hairdo.
Oh, dear. Well,
I mean,
even at a stool, you were outclassed.
Let me tell you how big this beehive hairdo was. They had real beads swirling around her head. So when they introduce Elton John, I'm like, oh, my God, you're kidding me. Elton John's going to... I mean, I love fucking Elton John. Well, I got my ass up. I sat on the floor in front of the guy with the stool.
Well, that's fine. You didn't block him.
No. I sat on the floor, sat my fat ass down on the floor. And I'll tell you, it ain't easy for me to sit on the floor anymore. I ain't no spring chicken. Like, I must look like an old guy because Beth goes, you okay getting down on the floor? I go, of course I am. You know, like, what is with this floor? But, I wanted to take a hedge trimmer and just snap off the bun on that lady's head. So anyway, I'm sitting there on the floor, and Elton John is singing. I mean, one thing after yours. He goes, this is from an album I did, Madman Across the Water. This is from an album I did. He sounded so magnificent. He's playing that piano, and, I'm looking at his fingers. Now, I'm telling you, I'm 3 inches. I'm in a living room. First of all, Elton John has the pudgiest little fingers.
Yeah, he's always had these fat little fingers. I don't know how he plays.
Oh, my God. And he pounds that piano. It's only him. So, I mean, it's the room is filled with music, and it's just a guy on a piano. I'm telling you, Robin, it's not even... I said to Beth, this is like sitting and watching Mozart in his prime or something.
Well, a little past his prime.
All right, whatever. But I was on a roll. And I sat there hypnotized. And then, unfortunately, people started to get up and dance because it was like a little dance area.
Uh-huh.
Like Leon.
And you're sitting on the floor?
Leon's dancing. Yeah, I got stepped on a few times. I just said, honey, we have to move. So I said, fuck this. They're dancing. Beth says, let's just stand here, pretend we're dancing, and watch the concert. So we stood there. And guy goes, you're supposed to move when you dance. I go, I'm not really dancing, asshole. This is in the middle, Elton John.
Oh, dear.
People comment on me. You know why? First of all, I'm tall. 2, I look goofy. Like you could kick my ass. And 3, I'm famous.
You're not intimidating in that way. They do talk to you.
They do. So then I moved over to an area where I could see Elton's hands and everything, and I stood there. Robin, he must have played for an hour and a half, like a full fucking concert. Then I'm sitting there going, I wonder if Elton, does he enjoy doing this? What did they pay him?
He got paid.
Well,
He's not worried about enjoyment.
He got paid, right. He got paid $1 million at Rush Limbaugh's wedding. So
yeah,
it has
and
to be.
I don't think he did a full concert, did he?
I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't think so. I said, Leon, but this is why Leon's great. I mean, the guy's super wealthy, and he's sharing this with his friends.
Yeah.
Which I think I might be one of.
Apparently so. You're at his birthday party.
What do you get a guy who's a multi-billionaire for his birthday? I got him. We have a garden where we plant our vegetables and stuff. So we made a big, giant basket of fresh-grown vegetables and things like this because you can't get them. What are you going to get this fucking guy?
And he's never going to see those either.
Well, no, he will. He'll love it. I thought he would love it. But anyway, it was such an emotional experience. And then he knew Robert Kraft Elton, and he dedicated a song to Robert because he was going. It was a beautiful moment. But what a thing. And this Elton John, he doesn't sit there and talk to the crowd. Bam, 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 one song after another. I feel like I was the luckiest guy on the planet to be there. It really was something. I didn't know what to do. And I became an asshole. I took my iPhone and I started taking pictures. Because I didn't know, and they were terrible pictures, but I didn't know what to do.
That iPhone takes terrible pictures.
Oh, the worst. and then I started recording. I texted.
You've got a bootleg?
I texted my daughter Ashley, and I said, Ashley, you're not going to believe what happened to me tonight. I went to a birthday party, and look, and she goes, I should be there, not you. You're too old. I go, you're right. But I am here, and you're not. So I started sending her clips.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I had to share the moment with somebody. Beth and I were beside ourselves.
Yeah, that's a beautiful evening.
Oh, my God. What a night. News.
The man who's shaking it all up.
Yeah, what's his name again? John Lieberman. Yeah, I think we got a theme.
John Lieberman was hired because he's Jewish.
There he is, John Lieberman.
Jewish.
I heard you got upset because Benjy went up to John Lieberman and said, like in all seriousness, kind of like, hey, do you think you're a good-looking guy? Because I think I'm kind of on par with you. And
No. Well,
right? Do I have that right?
Well, he was doing a story about me and asked me if I thought I was like a model or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, well, we kind of look alike.
Yeah, like who do you think is better? Like Benji's point was, hey John, you're kind of in the same boat as I am.
I have to say, last night I was watching Millionaire Matchmaker.
Right.
And they had this guy on who I thought was kind of good looking. Then I started really looking at him, and I was like, oh my God, he sort of looks like Benjy.
Oh, really?
Thanks, Ron.
Oh, my
So
God.
maybe it's the other way. Maybe I'm actually good looking.
I don't know. Benjy almost has me convinced he's good looking because I don't think of Benjy in the least bit attractive, category. Like he looks horrible.
That could be all personality.
And you know what?
Look
and you want to know
a close up of my face.
Yeah, he keeps saying this, and now I'm getting kind of sucked in that he might be like a really good looking guy.
Well, that's what I had to start questioning. I was like, well, this guy I think is good looking, and now I'm thinking he looks like Benjy.
Wait, I'm looking at you on the monitor. That'll help me.
Well, I want to put my
Yeah, Beth said you're actually kind of nice looking.
Thanks.
And I was like, really? Benji's vile. First of all, he's fat.
Leave out that.
Well, take
just
away.
From here to here. Look.
Yeah. I don't know. You look odd to me. Seriously, I'm being honest. I don't think you're good looking. I don't think I'm good looking, so I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying I don't think you're that good looking.
No, I'm not incredible. But
once you got that blonde girl, the one that you brought to that Christmas party,
You started thinking.
I started thinking maybe you are because she's pretty hot.
Thanks.
And that other girl you dated was pretty hot too. The one with the dark hair.
Dated,
yeah. Not all the girls you dated.
I'm like a chubby Jake Gyllenhaal.
Look, Robin, look. Okay.
Do you think Benji's good looking, Fred? Seriously, not that we're guys and we don't know, but
in his current state,
yeah,
no.
Robin.
Yes.
Just look.
Oh, he's so gross.
Robin.
Around
Do you think
the
he's
eyes,
good looking?
Just show his eyes.
All right. Yeah, can you zoom in and not see anything else?
My eyes and my cage.
Would you fuck a guy who looked like that?
Look at that. Now stop crossing your eyes.
But look at that. He's got like big red zits all over it.
Just look at the eyes.
That's ridiculous. If you look at my eyes, I'm good looking. I got two of them.
Just my left eye, Robin.
Look at his eyelash. Yeah, but look how sweaty he is. Look at
That's not sweat.
Pull back. Look at the fucking pimples on his cheeks.
Oh, come on.
Look at that. Your skin is bad.
If we're really going to do that, let's see a close-up of your skin.
No, but Benji, I claim to be bad looking.
You're not. You're beautiful.
No, but you're not good looking.
Honest, I am.
That if you take
I'm actually.
Benji,
I don't want to get into this.
I think you have a sexy, cool look.
I got a lot of cool
but I'm
stuff.
actually better looking than you.
All right.
I think if you take Benji's parts individually, they are nice parts.
Thanks.
Maybe they don't go together.
Skin is sweaty and horrible. My God. Yeah, Matt, you're on the air. Hi, Matt. Hey now.
Are you guys insane? Benjy is a fucking troll.
But I think Robin's digging his look.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I started to see.
Would you go out with Benji? Seriously?
No. Not Benji.
Put me on
Someone
your calendar.
who looked like Benji,
Yeah,
maybe.
you would go
with
out
a
with
better Benji's personality is what.
Have you ever seen his stomach?
No, but it's his personality that keeps
All right.
people away.
All right.
I actually have a great personality.
Yeah, you'd have to tell me.
Yeah. Wow. But anyway, I guess John Lieberman, like Benjy got a hold of him and managed to piss him off because John was like, I think I'm a lot better looking than you. And he was getting into an argument with Benjy. But what do I know?
Benjy.
Yeah?
Why are you so concerned about your looks? Why does this...
Well, a lot of people like have this. It's like a stereotype that I'm not good looking, and it's like it's not based in truth. And I'm just trying to, convince people that I am.
I think he's drumming up this whole controversy because he wants to get back in the headlines. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to be the focus. And there's no issue here. The issue is I'm better looking than Benjy. I have the track record. I have just better looks. You can just look at us side by side, which I'd welcome him to do. So it's a trumped up story. There is no story. This is Benjy trying to get attention.
Hey, Howard, you want to talk about this guy, Dave Portnoy, real quick?
Yeah.
What's going on? So, here's some very brief notes on him. Here is the picture that caused all the controversy.
It's way weird.
So you got the gist of it.
So weird.
He found it on the internet, he posted it, he said, look at the enormous cock on Brady's kid. Everything Brady does is great.
Kid's cock's bigger than mine. It pisses me
Right,
off.
news picked up on it, accused him of being a pedophile. State troopers came to his house and said, look, take the picture down so there's no trouble. He took it down, but he still doesn't see why.
He didn't take the picture down until the state troopers told him to take it down.
Right.
He's like Sal. He doesn't know what's wrong until it's wrong.
There's a guy on the phone, Dave Portnoy. He's the founder of BarstoolSports.com. I'll tell you why I got him on the phone. Hey, Dave. Dave's from Boston. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
All right. So Dave has Gary told me about this yesterday, and I figured, well, okay, I'll put Dave on the phone. Dave has a website for sports information. You go on there, and he's kind of like the Perez Hilton of sports. You know what I mean?
Oh, just gossip about sports?
Gossip about sports and stuff like that. He posted a picture. There was a picture taken by some paparazzi. David Beckham and his wife are on vacation. Their young son, it looks like he's about 2 or 3 years old. How old is the son?
He's 2. It's Brady's son. It's Tom Brady's son.
Oh, Tom Brady's son. Okay. He's 2 years
and
old.
Giselle.
And Giselle Bundchen. The kid was running around naked, as 2-year-olds will do. And a paparazzi took a picture of this kid. So the kid's nude. So a young boy.
Full frontal?
Full frontal, 2-year-old boy. Dave put it on his website, as many people did. And he mentioned that the kid was hung like a horse. He's had a big cock for a 2-year-old. Now, while that's funny, Robin.
It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. And Dave, people said, you must take this down. It's kiddie porn. And I saw the picture, and quite frankly, I do think it's kiddie porn. I don't think you should put a picture of a 2-year-old nude. And
I think you can't.
And I don't think you should mention his cock. But anyway, Dave Portnoy did it.
And now?
And a lot of people complained. And he said, I'm not taking down any picture. And then I guess, I don't know if it was Tom Brady or some people are screaming they're going to have lawsuits and injunctions. And a lot of people told Dave it was wrong to post this picture. And Dave, I guess after a lot of people told him it was wrong, took it down begrudgingly because he didn't think he did anything wrong. Do I have that right, Dave?
You have it almost right. The reason I took it down is the state cops actually showed up at my house.
I would imagine so.
State cops said that it's wrong to put a nude 2-year-old on, circle his cock. And did you circle his cock with a pen?
No.
No, okay.
No, I didn't.
But you said, what did you say exactly about his cock?
The exact blog, it's a short one. The caption on it was, check out the howitzer on Brady's kid.
Howitzer.
The howitzer.
Right.
And then below it was, that's a big fucking hog for a 2-year-old, just swinging low like a boss. I guess we shouldn't be surprised, though. That's what MVP quarterbacks do. They impregnate chicks and give birth to big dick kids. Does Peyton Manning have any children? If he does, I bet they got pencil dicks.
Right. So, in other words, you saw that as a compliment to Brady, that you were complimenting his son's dick.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is it true that you really don't understand why what you did was wrong?
Well, the issue isn't so much for me whether what I did was wrong. I will let you or anybody really say that it's wrong. My issue is I legally know I'm within my rights to do it, and I don't really think people should be taking the moral high ground against me that just because you think it's wrong, I think I'm within my rights. And legally I am, by the way. The state cops didn't say, oh, we know you broke the law. They said, we're getting a lot of complaints. We don't think there's much we can do from a legal side, and pretty much everybody on the legal side has agreed with me. So,
all right, so let's forget the legal argument because I'm not a lawyer. But do you have kids?
I do not.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's it. You know, I have daughters. I have 3 daughters, and I got to tell you, Dave, I would never post a picture of a child and comment on their genitals. And I'm known for outrageous commentary and that kind of thing, but I do draw the line somewhere. I don't. Forget about the legal aspect, whether you're legally allowed to do that, as you point out, and I'll accept your word for it, that you're within your rights. It just seems like something you wouldn't do. It just seems kind of seedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I look at this. I don't think it's seedy at all, or else well, I shouldn't say I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was seedy, but I really didn't think it was an issue. And again, I'm not going to say anybody should think that, but I don't. And the reason I don't is because, to me, a baby in this, he was a baby. I don't know if you saw the photo. Really, those photos are everywhere throughout the Internet. I mean,
no, I saw the photo, and I was just kind of like, oh, man.
You know, what's really sad is the photos out there, because Tom Brady didn't take this picture of his child. Some paparazzi took a picture of his child and decided to make money because it's Tom Brady's
so Dave,
kid.
If you felt you didn't do wrong, why'd you take it down? I mean, the state police came and they said what to you?
Well, they basically said we're getting a lot of complaints, and, you know, it would be the best interest of everybody involved so we can get back to what I would interpret as real police work and not have to deal with the complaints. And, you know, I was torn on it, to be totally honest, because I kind of felt like, in a way, I was selling out by taking it down, but I wasn't ready to fight that fight.
Right. All right. Well, anyway, the website is called barstoolsports.com. Dave Portnoy says he doesn't think... Do
you take other famous people's kids and put them up there?
No, I mean, we're a Boston-based blog. Well, we have a bunch of cities, but we're a Boston-based blog. So for us, Brady's very relevant. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I'd say about the paparazzi, which I agree with, I mean, I didn't take the photo. If it wasn't out there, it kind of crossed our radar. But Giselle's world famous, and the same group of photos, and this may be a tough argument with somebody like Howard, who's obviously equally famous. I don't know what the Paps do with him, but 6 months ago she was on South Beach, in the same group of photos, and the same controversy basically hit the Internet, you know, of the baby naked. I kind of looked at that as maybe she doesn't care either. I mean, because she did.
Well, no, you know, listen, when you have children, a lot of times, especially when you take them to the beach, they run around without their clothes on. And I mean, look, if Giselle starts running around.
She's not taking pictures and posting them.
No.
That would be a different thing.
There's got to be a line somewhere.
Doesn't she know that's coming?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But do you really think of that? Like, you kind of think to yourself, oh, no pervert's going to sit there and take nude pictures of my 2-year-old and post them up on the Internet, you know? You don't think that way. You kind of think, well, all right, if I run around naked, or if Giselle runs around naked, or this one runs around naked, of course you expect that someone's going to take a picture. I mean, you'd have to be brain damaged not to know that. But I think when it's a 2-year-old, they kind of go, you know...
Yeah, we're having a family moment.
Your mind doesn't even go there.
Yeah.
It's just a little kid running around without his bathing suit like you see on the beach all the time.
I guess it's fair, but if it kept happening at some point, I guess I would think she'd be like, they are going to do it, and if I care about that, I'd throw trunks on them.
I think it's outrageous for, you know, people to post pictures of Brady's kid naked. I just do.
And then to go, you know, the comments were a little bit unnecessary as well. I mean, my God.
I saw the picture and I went, you know, it disturbed me. It disturbed me on a couple levels. Number one, and this is the God's honest truth, Brady's kid, 2 years old, is bigger than I am, which is really fucking depressing.
And you don't need to know that. So there's another thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have baby dick. You ever hear baby arm? You know what that is? Like when a person's arm is like kind of...
Doesn't grow.
I have baby dick because I don't know what happened to me. I don't understand how a 2-year-old can be better hung than me. But I don't believe that you should take naked pictures of children and stick them on the Internet. I don't know. Although, I tell you what.
It's only because of what other people do with them. While you don't consider it kiddie porn, I'll bet you a pervert does.
I tell you what I did, man. I first of all, I kept that photo away from my wife because I don't want her seeing it. She'll be like, oh, my God.
That a 2-year-old.
Yeah, 2-year-old's better hung than you. But
in a weird way, I feel like that what you're saying right now, and I know I'm not going to get you to agree with me, is kind of we make observations. So what you thought is what I thought, and the pictures were out there. And
I would never put it. You posted on your website.
Correct.
I wouldn't do that. Listen, if it's out there and people put it out there and you want to comment on it, fine. But you're only promoting it if you put it on your website. You understand that?
No, we absolutely promote it, but I do think there is a difference, which, to my defense, being there's a difference between me being the one who is commenting on a story that has already booked, which is what we do, versus, if you want to change the law that you can't.
No, you can do it. Let's say you legally have the right to do it. It's a question of where you stand as a human being, of how you want to exploit children. You dig?
And I would not say I was exploiting him. You do, I don't, but that's where I think there's a
Let's check in with the audience, see what they say. Andrew, go ahead. You're on with.
You're going to get killed.
You're probably going to get killed. Dave Portnoy's website is barstoolsports.com. Let's go to Andrew. Go ahead.
Hi, Howard. I just want to say, Dave, you're fucking disgusting. I understand that you're trying to be funny, but come on, you had to think before you did this. Honestly, I think it's wrong for Dave and the paparazzi for taking it, and Dave for posting it on the internet.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Andrew, but let's see who else has something. Let's get a couple of comments. Ray, go ahead in Wilmington.
Hey now.
Hey now.
I was just calling in, I understand about, maybe if the child's father had given permission to have it posted, such as like the depiction on the Nirvana CD.
That's right. And the Nirvana CD,
also.
On Nirvana CD, there's a picture of a child naked swimming. But, right. I mean, first of all, the parent is, I assume, at the photo session selling this picture and considers it art. I don't think that Giselle or Tom Brady are sitting there consciously going, "Oh, we'll put the kid out on the beach, and
this will be great.
This will be great. My kid will be famous."
Agreed, but that does confuse the issues, because before you said we're fueling like a pedophile, I think Robin said, but you could say the same thing for the Nirvana cover, whereas there's two arguments. A, they didn't give permission, versus B, the image itself is inherently pornographic. So, the Nirvana thing, you could say the same exact thing.
No, I don't think it's pornographic. I don't think the child's picture is pornographic. We just know that the mother and the father weren't sitting there wanting the picture of their son's penis anywhere on the internet. And secondly, I think...
What I'm saying is there are many, many innocent things that are shot of children that child perverts find titillating.
That's right. Let's go to Andy.
You could Google... Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Hey, what's going on, Howard?
Yes.
Hey, the focus of the picture, when it becomes about the genitals, that's what makes it child pornography. The picture of itself could be child erotic, which is not against the law. But the minute that he starts putting words about it and saying, making the focus of the picture about the child's genitalia, that's when it becomes against the law.
Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm a police officer.
So so once you circle it, or not circle it, but once you say, hey, look at that kid's cock, it is pornography.
Yeah, in most states, that's pretty much the law. Is that if you've just got a picture of a kid and the kid's just walking around naked, that's child erotica. That's not against the law.
I see.
But the minute you make the focus of the picture about the child's genitalia, that's when it becomes child pornography. The state police...
Dave, what do you think of that?
What do I think of that?
Yeah.
I think he's not a lawyer. We've had a lot of... I mean, this wasn't done lightly, and pretty much every lawyer has said it's not.
All right.
Not a lawyer, I'm a police officer. I know the law that way. So, I mean, if it was my type of case, if he was persistent about not taking it down, I think there would be some sort of legal action taken.
Right. Well, he did take it down. I'll give Dave credit for that. Max, go ahead. You're on the air in Staten Island.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Let me ask you a question there, guy. Did you put the commentary on the photos, or did people blogging on your site put them up there?
No, I did.
All right, well, if you put them up, you're a fucking piece of shit. How you like that? What would you do?
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
What would you do? What would you do with your kid? People put comments about your kid. You retard.
I'm not followed around by paparazzis every single place I go, so I know it would work if it was my kid. That analogy for me on whether it's my kid doesn't hold water. It doesn't, because it would not work if it was my kid. It's an irrelevant argument.
I'd like to smack in your fucking head.
All right, Jay, you're on the air.
Hey.
Hey.
Howard, I saw this picture that he's talking about, and the website I went to, all they showed and they were talking about was her ass, because how nice it is. They didn't say anything about the kid. They just said the kid's naked, but that's it. I mean, you can see it, but I don't think it's completely wrong. But if you're talking about the kid's dick over and over, that's where it's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's something that you kind of just go, hey, it's a kid. I'm not going to put that up there. It's just something you do as a human being, I think. I can't debate the legalities of it. I don't even know. Yeah. All right, hey, Dave, so you put it up there, you took it down, you say there's nothing wrong with what you did legally or morally. I think as a guideline, little kids are off base, off limits, so to speak, and you don't mess with that. That's what I think. That's just my opinion.
And I have no problem. And you know what? That's obviously your title. A lot of people are. That's a fair stance.
No.
You don't think that kids are off limits? You have a sports blog. The kid isn't in sports.
Well, we really don't just have a sports blog. It's more of a men's entertainment. I mean, we cover everything. It's sex, politics, everything. I guess I'd have no problem if someone said it's illegal to do it, but it's clearly not. So that, I guess you just want me to ignore it on a moral higher ground, which I really thought it was a funny joke.
Here's a guy who wants to defend you. Yes, Chad.
Hey, Howard. Great talking to you. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Big fan, Stern Show, 10 years easily, and big fan of Barstool Sports. El Prez, he puts some outrageous things out there on the website, but for anyone who reads his blog, daily, weekly, whatever the case may be, this isn't really outside the limits. I think some people are calling up just thinking he did this to get press and, be on the Stern Show, but he's a huge Stern fan as well.
Right.
So I'm sure he's probably liking the fact being on the show anyway, but I think, it is what it is. It's already out there. He's just commenting on it.
Dave, is it true you're having a who is the most well-hung 2-year-old in contest in America?
That's not, but if I get a re-invite, maybe I'll look into it. But no, I'm not.
Let's go to Rich. Rich, go ahead.
Hey, this guy, I don't know what his deal is, but I think he's getting some serious backlash here in Boston. And I don't know whether he's trying to drive some clicks into his site or what, but I wouldn't give him the time of day. And there's already people out emailing his sponsors and his advertisers to boycott. So
is that true, Dave? Are you getting a lot of negative feedback and a lot of people, a lot of sponsors canceling?
We're getting a ton of negative feedback. Sponsors, somewhat. I mean, there's definitely backlash. The only thing I'll say to what that caller said is this wasn't a publicity stunt. People who don't know who we are may think it is, but you could really look at it. Our blog is off-color, and to me, it was almost like people who don't read it busting into a stand-up routine of off-color comic and getting upset about.
In other words, you're taking your blog out of context.
To a degree. I mean, you could, if people, I've heard a million times people say this is the first time I looked at it, and then they rip me apart, whereas if they read it, you could be like, there's probably 3 or 4 blogs a day that you could have a pretty strong argument that is offensive. So it is, I mean, I have used that. If this is a stand-up routine, and Chris Rock saw that photo, would people be that mad if he made a joke about it?
Not a joke about it, but maybe if he posted it, they would be mad at him. Joe, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, I want to talk to this guy, Dave, about the difference between the Nirvana cover and that picture. The Nirvana cover was a model-released photo, meaning
that's right.
The baby's parents signed something saying, I give you permission to show my kid in this state of undress. The Tom Brady picture, that was just some paparazzi taking candid photos of a minor. You can't do that. I'm a photo editor.
You can do that. You
can't. You can't.
You can.
If it's a minor and you're showing a kid in a state of undress, you need the okay from the parents to do that.
Right.
But then
that makes sense to me.
Listen, I'm a photo editor. I've been at 2 major magazines. I deal with this every day. Model releases,
Then why isn't Fame?
rights,
Then you know who
usages.
Fame is, right? You know who Fame is, the paparazzi unit?
They're paparazzi. They never get a model release. Any smart
They never do.
that wants to make resale on his images will get a model release
So
of
then
a
I guess
picture
the
of a
question
minor.
for you is, why isn't Fame, who is a huge paparazzi organization, are they in jail? Are they getting prosecuted for the photo? Because they took it and sold it.
Well, it's resale. It's different. The photographer's the one who should have gotten the model release, and he didn't. He's lucky he's not getting in trouble. That's child pornography.
That's right. Greg, go ahead. You're on the air.
It's not child pornography.
But it is true that, I mean, on a 2-year-old, I mean, a paparazzi's taking that. Let him go get a model release is right. Greg, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Howard. Hey, is this dude married? And if so, what does his wife think about all this?
Yeah, what's your wife say?
My wife is on my side.
That's messed up, man. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, hey, Dave, thanks for calling in. The controversy continues. Was Dave?
You don't think that children deserve a certain amount of protection?
Not versus this. I agree they need protection, but not versus this. I don't think they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Check out Dave Portnoy's website at barstoolsports.com. Thanks for calling in, Dave.
Take care.
And by the way, Dave, how are you hung?
Not as well as Brady's baby.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Bye.
That's Dave Portnoy. There's so many goddamn cowards. That's why I love the internet. Even this guy who called in yesterday, the guy with the sports website, he was on the air, all very civil, and I told him I disagreed with what he did. They took a picture of Tom Brady's kid, 2-year-old, and he's commenting on the kid's cock. And to me, that feels wrong. I don't know. And I told him I did it in a way that I was just very blunt about it. And he didn't have much to say. But then he gets on his website, Howard's a shit. You know, Howard's. I thought Howard would agree with me. What, agree with circling a 2-year-old's
He's never
genitals?
listened to this show.
Well, he didn't circle the genital, but to sit there and bring attention to a 2-year-old's genitals is not my thing. And then he made up some shit about what I said at Columbine, which I didn't say. I did say he made comments about those kids who shot up the stuff, but
You didn't show naked pictures of them.
I didn't show any naked pictures of them, and so he's saying that I'm a hypocrite because I don't agree with showing pictures of 2-year-olds and talking about their dicks. I don't know. And I don't have a problem with you saying, I'm hung like a 2-year-old or this. Listen, I'm a comedian. I say funny things. But this guy, I disagreed with. But the thing that's so cowardly is then he goes on his website. He was on the air with me. Why didn't he
Never
say
said
any
a
of it?
word.
Gary, Dave Portnoy doesn't seem to want to let go of his innocence in this, or his believed innocence in this issue. Why do you think he fails to see the other side of this and his wrongdoing? It seems like such a cut and dry issue.
He doesn't get it, and it doesn't make him a bad person. He's doing a bad thing. It doesn't mean we dislike the guy. But I found in this whole thing that people who have kids get it, and people who don't have kids don't get it. And you know, if somebody did that to his kid, I think he'd be pretty bummed out. But he doesn't have kids, so he doesn't really give a shit. He's like, hey, I didn't take the picture, I didn't post the picture, but you reposted the picture on your site, and then you wrote comments under it. And just because someone else posted it first doesn't mean you have to post it. It's just wrong. It's a kid.
Yeah, one day when Mr. Portnoy has a little Portnoy running around, and they kind of go, "Hey, I wonder if Mr. Portnoy is as big as his son." I don't know. It's messed up. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like you're on the verge of the people who do the 6-year-old beauty pageants or something like that. It's like there are just certain things that kids should not be involved with, in my opinion.